The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
Tune in later on tonight on Trick or Treat Radio to hear some news about an exciting contest pertaining to our return to the stage at 89 Green Street at the Cove Music Hall. But right now, it's Dynamo Mars, it's Johnny Wolfenstein versus Bill by Force and Mr. Chris. Welcome to the Wednesday Night Wars.
Welcome all you little zombies. You are listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 212 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is a phantasmagorical spin kick straight through the heart of pop culture, navigated by the Deadites. The Deadites are the world's greatest electroshock band. We destroy monsters, we drink booze, we win championship belts, and I also destroy Dynamo Mars in a little WWE music trivia.
Yeah, cheating.
Oh, hell yeah!
I didn't cheat.
Yeah, with Bill by Force Bischoff in your pocket.
That's Mr. Fulkerson to you.
So this is Wednesday Night Wars 5, the Summerslam edition. So we've been doing this a little over a year now, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Would that be OTC V Trick or Treat Radio?
Well, it's more of a team-up nowadays.
Yes, it is, because you're a loser and you can't stand to run with the big dogs.
Go dogs!
No, not that again.
No way.
I'm kidding. I love you all more than my own self.
He really loathes himself, it's true.
Thank you.
So we just for the record, if you guys, if you want to tune into part 1 of this, you can go listen to Outside the Cinema, yes, on episode 446. And we did Ready to Rumble, and we also did Wrestling Women versus the Killer Robot. And it was a fun time. We did some wrestling music trivia, and we made fun of Monster Zero, and he left during the episode.
Because he was so mad at us.
Yeah, and it was a very special episode of Reverend Scott's segment.
Yep. And he also came in third place in the
Yes.
Steam Challenge.
That's
so.
true. You did beat him.
Right.
You did. You did.
So we do have the inimitable Bill by Force and Mr. Chris from the excellent Outside the Cinema. How you doing, dudes?
I'm good. Chris, take a bow.
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
All right.
All right. Should we talk about Donald Trump some more? Chris is going to put him... What was the movie you're going to put him in, Chris?
The Impeacher.
Yes. It's a deadly move.
Yeah. Try to escape the impeacher. No one's ever escaped that move except for Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. we
Do we all remember that Bill Clinton was impeached, by the way?
yeah,
Nobody seems to remember that.
that's okay. They don't remember a lot of things about the Clinton family now. It's like all like... It's we're blinded by the fluorescent lights of girl power, Bill.
Hey, are you wearing your Outside the Cinema t-shirt?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, you are a sexy motherfucker.
I am.
You know what? I wore mine yesterday, and I didn't want to wear it 2 days in a row. I was going to wear it today. I was like, hey, I'll wear... I was like, oh, wait, I wore it yesterday.
I have enough Outside the Cinema shirts to wear them almost every day of the week.
That's true.
Well,
do.
if you go to store.outsidethecinemma.com, everything is on sale right now. T-shirts are only $14.
14 fucking bucks.
All those fucking Big Trouble in Little China shirts that we made are on sale.
What about all the WWE ones? I'm going to buy them all up.
Yeah,
Wait.
We sent me cease and desist letters. It was like, you need to remove all of these designs from your web store. I was like, yes, sir.
Vince McMahon called you personally, didn't he?
You son of a bitch.
I'll shave your head.
Bill,
Stealing $2 out of my pocket.
it was you. It was you all along, stealing my money.
You're fired.
I don't work for you, man. I don't even know you.
Hey, real quick, since we're talking about wrestling, Bill, have you watched the Cruiserweight Classic at all?
I have. I've watched every episode.
The end of the last episode actually made me a little misty.
Yeah.
That Cedric Alexander thing.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert if you have not watched it. First of all, if you're not watching the Cruiserweight Classic and you call yourself a wrestling fan, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
Because it's really, it's amazing. It's great. But yeah, Cedric Alexander versus Kota Ibushi last week. Not only was the match absolutely top notch, but the crowd in the place was on fire for Alexander. And even though, spoiler alert, again, he didn't win, he got so over with the place that it actually made.
Yeah, and he looked fucking terrific.
Oh yeah, he looked awesome. I heard that he was already signed though before that happened, but that's okay.
Which I guess would make sense because Trips was just kind of playing with the crowd and be like, "Yep, we're gonna do it," even though it's done.
It's already done, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see what they do because obviously they're gonna have the cruiserweight division on Raw, so it'll be very interesting to see which guys they keep because you can tell
Who's here?
you can tell that there's some guys that they definitely like and are favoring a little bit more than others, but.
I liked the Cruiserweight Classic for the most part up until, I really, really liked the first couple shows, the first round. But I felt like it was a very mostly like WCW style, like Cruiserweight thing because the matches for the most part were so quick. These two matches in the first round this week second round rather, was my type of wrestling.
Yeah.
Well,
Like it's the type of wrestling I enjoy.
Good.
Each one was ran the full 20-minute time limit.
Yeah, let it play out. Give it a good 15 minutes or so, and I think that they've been doing a really good job with it. And it's surprising that I'm seeing this level of wrestling
Right.
in the WWE.
It's one of the things that I hate about the WWF style because the television, what's the word I'm looking for? The limitations of the TV style match is like fallen into the pay-per-view style match. Like, so that's just kind of a style now. But like, I like the wear down part of the match for the most part. Just don't just stuff fucking going in and stuff throwing people around and doing moves and stuff like that. Like I like that. Like, I like when a match builds. It's like I've often equated the WWF style to starting a song with the chorus. Starting it at the 2-minute point because you're missing that part of the storytelling.
It's true.
So
It's true.
And speaking of wrestling, we just had a run-in.
Oh, Snoop.
Michael Ring Shadow.
Yo.
Oh, my Lord. I'm coming out the booth.
Shot the doc. You're to blame.
Italian people doing real Italian things.
There you go. Mussolini style.
I had to go back and take notes again, so I was listening to part of the show, and I had forgot about real Korean people doing real Korean things, and I literally almost inhaled a water bottle. Like I was laughing so loud.
Just wait till we get to the Twitter feedback.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It might come back around.
Yeah,
You might have a water buffalo.
You're in a buffalo stance.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Looking good today.
Death Row, water buffalo. What was that Public Enemy song?
Yeah, I don't think it goes like that.
no. Speaking of Public
Bring the
Enemy,
noise.
strangely, I wonder if my dad got out to see it. I got to go see Star Trek Beyond this weekend.
How was it?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was it was my least favorite one of these ones, and I think it was like very quantifiable why it didn't work. But what I will say is script wise, I feel like J.J. Abrams was like trying to like modernize some certain things, and I feel like Simon Pegg brought it back to like that 3-person chemistry between Bones, McCoy, and Spock. And that all worked really, really well. This film had a jump the shark moment that rivals anything that happened in their like San Francisco 1985 Save the Whales field trip. Like, have you seen it yet? Either of you guys?
I haven't even watched it yet, Chris.
Nope.
Yeah, I won't say anything. It's been out for a while, but literally there was a scene where I was like, I can't decide if this is the most fucking idiotic thing I have ever seen in my life or the most amazingly idiotic thing I've ever seen in my whole entire life. I knew it wasn't good, and I knew it wasn't smart, but I couldn't tell if it was just really fucking fuck it brave or like no one, people were asleep at the wheel, and I can't believe that this fucking happened in a Star Trek movie.
But this was the first one of the current era that wasn't J.J. Abrams directed.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's,
no.
It's James. He did Fast and the Furious.
Something Lynn.
No, it's not. It's
Jerry Lynn.
Not Jerry Lynn.
Not Jerry.
No, you're thinking of Darren Lynn Bousman, and it wasn't. It wasn't
I think
him.
it was Jeremy Lynn or something.
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
somebody. It was one of his like crony
All right.
sort of guys.
How'd they handle Chekhov?
They didn't. He was just. In fact, no. What's funny is he had probably a bigger role in this. Yeah, this is as all good third Star Treks are. This is the one where the Enterprise crashes.
All right. Yeah.
So
fucking blow up the ship.
yeah.
Oh.
So there's a lot of time with or not a lot, but a good amount of time with Kirk and Chekhov wandering around the jungle.
Okay.
So strangely enough, I don't know. It's like he wrote it. Scotty has a bigger role in this
Really?
one too. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel like the script wasn't as good, but the characters were the best so far. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like
It does. It does.
you know, like
Well, because they can phone it in and still be great.
sure, but they were a little bit different in those first two movies.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, but like, you know, I almost felt like the McCoy character was completely wasted in the first two movies, and he has a much bigger part in this, and like, just his out and out almost racism towards Spock and everything, all the stuff that like he says.
You fucking Vulcan.
Yeah, well, it's just you know, I believe we get the green-skinned, green-blooded bastard at one point or something like that, and then everything else like, you know, so it's good. It was very fun.
Did not do well though, huh?
No, which is weird. I'm not sure what
I
the
think
difference was.
It had like a big opening weekend, and then like, because I'm looking at the box office mojo, and it's saying its totals are 141 with a budget of 185.
Yeah, I guess if you made it, you have to put it out this year. But if I was looking at how weird this year was and the amount of stuff that came out this year, like, I would be hesitant to put out a big blockbuster style movie because at some point people are going to run out of money, right? Like, you know, I feel like the normal blockbuster going audience like will get sick of going to the movies. Like,
What was the hit this year?
Suicide Squad.
No.
No.
Suicide Squad is going crazy still.
Despite
No, it's not.
Money-wise, I think...
Hang on, I'm right there. All right, 2016, Finding Dory is the #1 movie of the year. Number 2,
Civil War.
Civil War is number 2. Deadpool is number 3.
I forgot about Deadpool.
Suicide Squad is the Ocho.
Well, you were referring about the summer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm sorry.
specifically,
Yeah.
so
Well,
Deadpool would be out.
Finding Dory is the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. So I always...
Captain America was a summer release too.
Yeah.
It's early summer, yeah.
Yeah.
I would consider
I would
Civil
consider
War.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think I don't know. Maybe I was alone, but I didn't think Suicide Squad was going to do what it did, especially with the Fantastic Four style damning press that it got on the internet.
I will
and stuff.
say this, that everyone who I've talked to said positive things about it.
Sure.
Did you watch it, Chris?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Fuck Jared Leto and his ass.
Yeah, I fucking hate
All right,
it.
everybody but Chris,
Yeah,
who I've
no.
talked to.
No, I think
Also, Harley was good.
Yep.
Will Smith was a better Deadshot than I expected him to be. Enchantress was a risky choice that I think kind of paid off, except for a little bit of
Risky or risque?
her weird dancing. Both. But Suicide Squad is the kind of movie you make after you know who these characters are. Nobody
Right.
knows who Diablo is.
no.
Although I had a dude today who was like, dude, fucking Diablo was awesome. And I'm like, I don't fucking know who Diablo is. Like, I'm getting like Suicide Squad anxiety.
Yeah.
I think I feel like Assault on Arkham, which I watched after Suicide Squad again, is a better realized version of it.
Also heard that.
Yeah. I think.
Hold on. Oily Maniac says Vulcans doing everyday Vulcan things.
Real Vulcan people doing real Vulcan things.
See if you're with me here, Chris. I really did enjoy it until the last 35 minutes. And then I feel like it like almost turned into like a different movie.
Yeah, I think my main problem with the whole thing is why the squad was brought together. That was a dumb fucking reason.
I didn't mind that too much. Like it was undercooked, but
but like they have the military in the city already. They can. She's in the building. She's near the roof. Why did they have to send them in on the ground blocks away?
Well, I feel like they were trying to orchestrate something to send them in anyway, and it got out of control.
I don't know. It just.
But I agree.
I think that's a bad use. Like okay. So anybody care if I spoil that
Yes.
part?
Yeah, because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. All
Slow
right.
it down.
But I think just character-wise, which is the spoiler thing, I didn't dislike Will Smith, but like Deadshot is one of my favorite things, and I think he was a little too. There was a couple of things that were more Will Smith than Deadshot.
Yeah, the Deadshot on Arrow I thought was really good.
Oh, I love the Deadshot on Arrow.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I did not, and like I was so. I didn't like the very beginning, but I felt like it was like. I felt like that's an indication that I was telling Suicide Squad to get off my lawn at that point. So I feel like it just wasn't for me. They literally fit 9 classic rock songs into 7 minutes of movie.
Well,
Like, it's outrageous.
Maybe this has been talked about. I mean, I read it on the internet, so it's true.
You know how to use the internet?
I watched someone read it to me.
You watch a
Had
YouTube
someone
video.
dial it up for me.
Yeah.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
know if that's in his realm of powers. We'll find out shortly.
I'm not sure where. Oh, that was a fucking weird night. I'll tell you that much. A little bit too. But according from what I read or dreamt, there was the vision of the director that started this, as like a mid card. I'm doing Guardians of the Galaxy type thing, and then it became part of the saga. What I heard was after the negative response of Batman vs Superman, Warner Brothers went into backtrack mode. Oh my God, that's fucking hot like a motherfucker right there.
That's next week's movie.
There is a blonde girl shaving a brunette in a tub, dude. Fuck Suicide Squad. That's a fucking
weird.
movie. If you put fucking Captain Boomerang in that fucking scene, gold. You guys, I'm fucking. I dead shot something. Unless you're in the studio, you don't get what I just saw. What was I going? But they went into damage control mode, and Warner Brothers had the company that cut the trailer bring them in to try to cut this version of the film. So there were 2 cuts that were shopped around to test audiences. And the film that came out in theaters, I think, to my knowledge, is an amalgamation of both cuts.
I believe it.
So here's the thing. I think this is, and I'm not disputing what you just said, Raven Shadow, but I think this whole reshoot thing was way overblown. Almost every single fucking movie does reshoots. So, like, people are flipping out about this one reshooting. And, maybe they did add some levity. Maybe they did try to make things a little bit lighter because
It didn't make it in the movie, I'll tell you that.
Right. So I don't know, but I think that's way overblown. I think that's just someone's story of, they wanted to try to, play damage control because Superman versus Batman. And
it could be. I mean, once again, like I say, it's the internet.
I think they just did some reshoots, maybe because they wanted to tie it more into the universe,
It's like that
Who knows?
inane letter that popped up on the fib of the supposed insider saying,
right, on the Warner Brothers.
yeah, how Warner Brothers is a sinking ship, which I don't disbelieve, but
I have an analogy that I've been working on about the difference between Marvel movies and DC movies.
is it that you like Bill more than Chris, but it doesn't mean that you like Bill?
I don't know if I like Bill more than myself.
Ooh.
No, my analogy is kind of okay. Now bear with me because pop culture and politics kind of all coalesce in my brain at the same time. If you take Marvel and that's the Democratic National Convention, and you take DC and that's the Republican Convention, that's why DC's failing, because Marvel gets people to speak at their conventions like Meryl Streep, and
and
DC gets people writing their movies and directing them like Scott Baio, Antonio Sabato Jr. DC isn't. They're not putting up the money to get a Kenneth Branagh to direct a movie, or the Russo brothers, who really fucking delivered.
And I'm fine with David Ayer. No, I haven't seen the movie, but I think he's a fine choice.
I think any cinematic vision cannot be in one person's hands. It's too much for anybody. Well, I mean, give me.
Overall, like, I agree in the sense where you shouldn't have like one person controlling everything, but I don't agree if you mean that David Ayer shouldn't have been able to make a Suicide Squad.
Oh
movie,
no,
and that was it.
I'm not talking about David Ayer.
No, but I
talking
mean
about-
like any director. You know what I mean?
Jeff Johns.
Well, here's the thing, and he's someone who I love, who I think, like, even down to New 5-2 Justice League, as Dynamo pointed out on previous episodes, went out of his way to not be good. I think in terms of, I'm fine with Scott's. Who is he? Zack Snyder. I like him.
Scott Snyder writes Batman.
Yes, he should have fucking directed.
Scott Baio is a Republican.
It's fucking weird. It's very confusing. Bill, who's who?
Leave Chachi alone.
Yeah, it's even
Chachi
like
needs to shut his bitch mouth.
yeah. You can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say that anymore. And here's the thing: can we say biatch? Is that okay? Or is it biatch?
I don't know.
Yeah, each.
Yeah, like you say, don't be a biatch. I'm not sure. I'm digressing.
But on the
really? Are you Raven Shadow?
on the other hand, in the DC movies, like Ben Affleck is, I believe, a really good choice.
I liked
for
it. I
Bruce
liked
Wayne
it.
and
He was
Batman.
the only thing I liked about that movie.
Yeah, emo mopey Superman, bad casting choice.
I don't think he's emo, dude.
No,
He's
I think
not.
that he's awesome. I think Zack Snyder is the problem.
fucking
Yeah.
building, okay, fucking the government blows up, and he's standing there like the Indian at the side
Right.
of the road when the
No,
guy.
no. You know what it is? I'm not sure you can say that either. There are new rules, Bill. I know. I'm not sure what's going on yet.
Oh, good. He thinks that I'm you.
We're trying to draft. No, I'm trying to. I feel like Superman right now. I don't know.
Look at the Marvel movies. You have Robert Downey Jr. and like you have like top tier people. Fucking who played Nova Prime in Guardians of the Galaxy?
I don't know.
What was her name?
Oh, Glenn Close
Yeah, fucking Glenn Close.
from that fucking
And-
Rabbit movie.
DCL Del Toro. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get where you're coming from. Yeah.
DC's not aiming high enough. Warner Brothers is
Kevin Costner and Man of Steel.
There you go.
There you go. There you go.
fucking character in all of the DC
Oh, what-
movies.
what
That's
about-
true. He
Kevin
sucked.
direct-to-video Costner. Is that who you mean?
What about Martha? Who played her again? What's her name?
Oh, the hot one.
Martha Kent.
No, Sally.
Diane
Field
Lane. Diane Lane.
Yeah,
Hold on.
she's pretty legit.
Did you say Martha? Why did you say that name?
Listen.
Yeah.
Let's go to commercial.
I want to point out that Aquaman's father's name, his first name is Thomas, and Batman's father's first
Yep.
name is Thomas.
gonna be
So
the-
there we have the end of
Besties.
Justice League.
No, but listen.
That's the end of the Justice League right there.
Listen, here's the thing. And it is kind of foolish, and special. And I get the angry Batman yell. It's funny to me. But I think it was the first time Martha Wayne never got any love. You knew that
Yeah,
Bruce
that's
was
true.
angry, and it was always Thomas. And the dude was never around because he was a fucking doctor and a billionaire. I'm not quite sure how he made his money. But it was nice to see his mom kind of getting some love in this one.
They're rich from before.
Sure, yeah.
the Waynes are rich from whatever.
Yeah.
From forever.
I'm guessing they sold the land that Arkham Asylum was built on.
Ooh, I like that.
And took it from the Indians. I mean, let's face it.
Yes.
There's
And then they cry by the side of the road like
Can I
Superman and
just quickly ask
Congress.
something about Suicide Squad since I haven't seen it? Is this uproar of, the lack of Joker, despite him being so front and center in the trailers and all the promotional stuff? Is there anything to that?
No.
Okay.
I think it's stupid. Even in Assault on Arkham, Joker is he's in Suicide Squad and Assault on Arkham about as much as Vader is in A New Hope, about
Right.
12 minutes worth.
If you are tricked by the amount of time that the Joker is in the trailer for a property that he has nothing to do with in its source material,
Especially when he doesn't show up in the promo photos of the lineup of the
Right.
characters.
I'm looking at you, Joe DeCanio of the Film for podcast, who reviewed the film he thought he was going to see.
Oh, that's the worst kind of review.
I
I heard our reviews.
don't I don't get it. Like,
Oh, Slagoth brought up a good one. Sorry to interrupt. Jeremy Irons in
Thank you,
as
Slagoth.
Arthur. Or not Arthur.
It's
Alfred.
yeah, but I mean, like he's not in the Suicide Squad.
Never ever. The Penguin
Ever.
was in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it was the one of the greatest stories of all time that you couldn't tell now because the world's different.
I was happy though to finally see Killer Croc on screen.
Yeah, and he was great.
I've been waiting for that.
Yeah, wasn't Michelle Indeggio-Cello the one that played him?
I can't say his name.
I can't either. So
Yeah.
I say her name because I can say her name, but I can't say his.
Is that how you say
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, and he was good. He was good. I was at first like Killer Croc. I think out of all of the DC characters ever made, has the most radical, different interpretations of how he is. Because he starts off, he looks just like this dude, except he's like wearing a suit.
Yeah.
Groot has a pretty not Groot, Grog.
Grog, yeah.
Fucking ape.
Who?
Yeah.
Gorilla Grodd?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like Croc can be normal human size with a
Yeah,
regular mouth, or he can be the hulking dinosaur reptile mutant from Arkham Asylum.
Yeah,
Like-
there's no wrong way to make the character. You can
He-
you can fuck with him.
He wasn't even a character that I was super familiar with until
The animated
there
series.
was a big. There was an anniversary issue. I think it was the 40th anniversary issue. Stephen King wrote the foreword of it, and I think Crisis it might have got rid of it, or it might have been just after Crisis. But Rash reneged on his promise and let everybody know where the Batcave was. And so at one point, like, there's like a attempted gang beating on Batman. And when I was a kid, I thought it was badass. Because he disperses of everybody, like all these C-listers, like the Cavalier and Killer Moth and all these guys really, really easily. As an adult, it always pisses me off when like new writers come in and they make the old villains, even if they are not that good, they make them inconsequential. You know, because then you're putting a timestamp on your villains. Because then somebody's going to come in and make Venom stupid or whatever else. But I remember there's a scene where Killer Croc is trying to grabs Batman from behind and tries to crush him. And I'm like, this guy's fucking awesome. What's a Killer Croc?
Yeah.
And then he used acid, like bat acid from his utility belt to burn his face. And that was my first introduction to him, really into the animated series. Like with doing, it's only recently that I feel like they use him, like recently in the past 5 years, and probably because he was always in the Suicide Squad plan. He's another thing that was never in the Suicide Squad, by the way.
There you go.
Even in this new,
It's supposed to be King Shark originally.
yeah, even in this new 52 iteration of him, it was Killer Shark. Yeah. So it's pretty. He is a pretty cool character. But I do agree with you, Chris, that somebody might draw him like a giant crocodile. Like a giant, like Godzilla monster, and then somebody else might draw him like somebody who has like a skin disease, and
Yeah.
he's awesome in. There's a comic called Batman Earth 2 or Earth 1. I
Okay.
forget what
Earth
they're
1.
called, and they're like Jeff Jones is like kind of reiteration of the origin stories, and he's pretty awesome in that book because like they do the one thing that. Because when you first hear his origin, you say, "Ah," and then like he's, everybody, writes him as a baby eater, So like there's not very much sympathy. So they do something cool with him in this book. They do a lot of cool things in this book. I hope they keep it going. But I think one hardcover story comes out a year. But I suppose my only complaint about the whole thing is that. If you have a Batman and Superman movie that's almost morbid, and then you have a Suicide Squad movie that almost at the end turns into Guardians of the Galaxy-ish, like I just don't get it. Like it's called the fucking Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing that belongs in this dour Warner Brothers world that you've created.
Yeah. Now, one other quick thing, I guess, before we review this movie, and then I go home and eat dinner.
You preempted me. I was just going to say we should probably do that.
I took my 8-year-old daughters to see this because they really wanted to from the first trailer.
Good choice.
And they loved it. And they get the squad out, they get them all lined up, and they bring in Slipknot. And I leaned over to my daughter, Nova was sitting next to me. I leaned over to her and I said, "That's the guy they're going to use to show that the bombs are real." And she said, "Yeah, I know."
Right.
And she's 8.
Yeah. I just hope the part that he's a rapist that uses his rope powers to do rape was lost.
What?
on her. Yeah, that's
That was in the movie?
No, that's who he is though.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't he fight Firestorm?
He's an Indian rapist. Yeah. I mean, a Native American rapist. I'm sorry. I'm looking at you. I got possessed by it.
So he was hurt? He was injured.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, no, it's interesting. When Johnny Wolfenstein's fucking tear ass now because you just spoiled something.
I didn't even hear.
Oh, good.
I'm not paying attention.
Good.
I mean, I did. I mean, it was spoiled for me, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's real early on, and he has literally like 30 seconds of screen time.
Still
That's
doing
like
it.
only like
It
20
doesn't-
seconds less than the Joker, apparently.
Yeah.
Like-
You know what? The Joker needed eyebrows. That's what he fucking needed. That was the thing that bothered me the most.
Why can't we do the Joker in the movies though? Like, why is this so fucking hard?
I don't know.
Like, they haven't done it yet. They haven't done it one fucking time.
Because they all want to put their own
Jack
personal
Nicholson was the
stamp on it.
closest, and he was not very good.
No, but then at least we got Mark Hamill doing it in the animated series.
Sure, he's the Joker in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
hate fucking Kurt Cobain Joker, and I certainly didn't like. Like this Joker looked okay as far as from like the head up, the neck up. Like I thought like they did some things like to make him look okay, but he looked like somebody said that he looked like an extra in like a Harmony Korine like movie.
Spring Breakers 2, Garden
Yeah.
City.
I called him Juggalo Liberace.
Sure. Like I just don't like I feel like even if you're like when you put him in like a strip club type situation and you make him just like an extra in a hip hop video, like
Yeah.
I feel like like he's not a criminal like that. He's Freddy Krueger. He's like he's a monster.
Yeah.
You know? He's like someone who's like he's not out for money or cash, and he's never been that. Like he's
No. And he's not going to hang around a bunch of people that could kill him at any second.
right. Yeah, it just wasn't
And that's why I keep saying he's not the real Joker. Something's going to happen.
yeah, there was enough there that I feel there was a tiny bit
You
enough
guys suck.
good.
I really want to see this movie. I don't want to know anything about it.
Okay.
Oh, this is all speculation. This is
No, I know, but it still is. I just have zero time to go to the movies nowadays, so I haven't had a chance
Well,
to see
don't
it.
go and see it for the Joker. How about that?
Damn it! I want 2 hours of the Joker.
Yeah.
Fuck.
God damn it!
Supposedly, the director's cut, he filmed over 30 minutes of scenes, apparently, and he was pissed because there was only 6 minutes in the final cut.
He still
Yeah.
got paid. I don't know why
Whatever.
he's pissed about that.
Tell him
He's
to go
in
back
30
to
seconds to Mars.
yeah. Tell him to go back to, and they haven't got paid in 10 years, so no one's
Shit. Dude, that documentary about their reckon
so weird.
is ridiculous.
Yeah. My argument to anything Jared Leto complains about is to go back to his dumb, soft-focused teen dramas. So
All right,
I
well,
hate him. He's ugly and
right.
dumb.
why don't we go ahead and transition into the film review? I haven't introduced everyone, but I did introduce our guests, and that's what matters. We have Dynamo Mars.
Fuck Jared Leto.
We have Michael Ravenshadow.
Bambaleo.
I'm gonna fuck Jared Leto with Jason Momoa's head.
That's a fucking movie.
Head?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab him by his fucking
Like the head of his dick?
No, like I'm gonna grab him by his ankles, in the scruff of his like greasy biker hair, and shove him right up Jared Leto's ass.
Oh, all right. Well,
That's
hey.
kind of mean, man.
And I'm Johnny
I hate him.
Wolfenstein. We have a movie to review.
Where's Monster Zero?
Man, look great.
Yeah. Yeah, so Monster Zero is not here.
You last week your review of the movie was the straw that broke the camel's back, and he quit before
Yeah,
you
he
got him.
quit.
Well, good. I should have did that in fucking episode 10. That sick son of a bitch.
No, he's got some stuff going on. He couldn't make it.
No.
He did make it for most of Outside the Cinema, but he had an emergency he had to attend to.
No.
So I think everything's fine. Just letting people know it's nothing with him.
Fair.
Something he just had to go attend to something. So
Fair.
he will not be here. He did send me a text review of the movie, which I'll get to later.
You ever seen crabs up close?
Do you want to?
So we are going to talk about the flick I Like to Hurt People. Now, Mars, I want you to set this up real quick because you've been wanting to do this flick on the Wednesday Night Wars for a very
Forever.
long time, since the beginning.
Yeah, and the show that didn't come out of the wrestling podcast I was on briefly, Intros of the Squared Circle.
Yep.
We were supposed to do I
Well,
Love to Hurt People.
The show that you killed.
I didn't kill it.
You said you did.
No, in fact, there was an episode that they did without me, and that was the last episode. So Death Rattle.
Well,
because
because you couldn't make it. That's why.
No, I think they just didn't like me.
Oh, okay.
I think that they they threw me out and changed the name of the band.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
We didn't change the name of the band. But I, as a little kid, and this was, keep in mind, I wanted to do this before I knew the fucked up background of it. I wanted to do it purely from nostalgia, because this VHS came home for me one Christmas, and I didn't know anything about it. It wasn't like the Lords of the Ring or any of the other stuff that like appeared in the back of wrestling magazines, like, you know, this just weird looking movie with like a weird, almost tie-dyed cover of Dusty Rhodes kicking somebody while he was down. And it was my first exposure to like a lot of these wrestlers. But unfortunately, it was on like one of those high-speed VHS tapes, so it only lasted a couple of weeks past Christmas because I watched it a lot. You know, I just had fond memories of it because this was the first time I got to see the Sheik. This was the first time I got to see the manager James Gannon and, you know, Bulldog Bauer and a lot of these guys that weren't, you know, were just Detroit territorial wrestlers. And then when we were talking about it, Wolfie told me the crazy story about this, and I said, this is a perfect fucking movie for outside the cinema.
Yeah.
But no, that's not what happened. So then I said, we're doing it here. And that's what happened. But it's a real interesting thing. Maybe Wolfie can give us a little of that background that he told me about, or I could, you know, if you don't have it in front of you, I could do it from somewhat memory.
Well, I did take.
I don't want to do a Patsy Godzilla, but
no, I did take some notes about it, so
okay.
I can go ahead and rattle them off. So let me first run down the stats about this film from IMDb. Film was officially released in 1985. And it's listed as a documentary comedy. I'm not sure about the comedy bit though,
or the documentary part of it.
Well, that I could believe. But this flick is 83 minutes, and it is directed by Donald G. Jackson, and it stars a ton of wrestlers as you'd expect: Abdullah the Butcher, Denny Alberts, Andre the Giant, Sky Lolo, Ox Baker, Dave Bork, Bobo Brazil, George Cannon, King Ripper Collins, Al Costello. It's got Terry Funk. It's got Dory Funk, and of course the American Dream. Dusty
got
Rhodes.
Ox Baker.
I said Ox. There's a huge list. Literally, I can't go through everyone. So,
and most of them are just in it to be introduced in the battle royal.
And of course, the Sheik. Who can't forget him? Stop the Sheik, everyone.
Yeah.
But and the synopsis is: the Sheik wreaks havoc throughout the sleaziest locales of the American wrestling circuit, maiming, mauling, and living up to his life's code. I like to hurt people. Yep. Now, so originally, I didn't know this about the flick until I started to do a little bit of research about it, because I know Mars was very excited about doing this. And originally, this was filmed in the late 70s, and it was intended to be a horror film.
Really?
Yeah, and then the footage, they never did anything with it. Like, I don't know if they ran out of funding or what the story was, but it just kind of sat on the shelf for a long time. And then it was revived to be a documentary, and then some other producers got involved.
New World bought it.
New World, yes. And they had the Sheik story filmed to tie it together into this weird fucking amalgamation of, like, documentary, like, actual kind of wrestling angle. It was a weird amalgamation, and it's definitely, I was calling it a curiosity, because I agree. I don't know what else you could categorize this as. It's not a real movie. It's not a documentary.
Because it's all those things and none of those things.
Yeah. So this was a very interesting flick. I'm curious to get you guys' perspective over there on Outside the Cinnamon. I can't even fucking talk today.
Outside the Cinnamon.
Yeah, that's what happens when I do two shows,
it's
I guess.
Spicy.
It is spicy. You guys are spicy.
Take the Outside the Cinema challenge. I can't even say it.
Outside the Cinnabon.
Outside the Cinnabon.
Yeah.
So I guess, Bill, obviously you're a big fan of wrestling. I don't know how much you watched back in the day, but what was it like for you checking out this flick?
All right. Well, my love of wrestling, like many people in my age group, started with WrestleMania 3.
Yes.
Went to a friend's house and I saw Hulk Hogan body slam Andre the Giant and drop the big leg. And that was where my love of wrestling began. And I was really into wrestling when I was young, and then I kind of fell out a little bit, then got really into it again when I was a teenager and loved it straight through my early 20s, took a break through like my late 20s and my early 30s, then got back into it, about 4 or 5 years ago, and love it. And I watch more wrestling now than I probably ever have before in my life. With that said, I am not one of those old fucking... I'm going to get myself in trouble, I know it.
Go
He's
ahead.
talking about me. Why don't you say you're not me?
I'm not one of those old, crusty, fucking angry wrestling fans that seems to think that wrestling hasn't been good since the good old days when it was
Oh,
wrestling.
that's not me.
I got a bunch of friends. I shouldn't say a bunch, but a few friends that are like basically like, well, it was so much better back in the day when fucking the Funks were running shit and Dusty Rhodes was the man and Ric Flair would go from territory to territory and this that dude, I don't fucking care. I'm like, I like my flashy fucking Hurricane Rana off the fucking top of the cage.
The cross chops.
Fucking like, I love fucking pec slapping nipples right off of people's chests and like I like modern wrestling. I like what they've done with it. I don't care about old school like NWA and territories, and like I appreciate the history of wrestling. I just don't care. Like it's kind of like
Sure.
Led Zeppelin. I don't fucking like Led Zeppelin. I understand their place in like the music world,
Right.
but I don't care. That's kind of what this was for me. So I'm not gonna lie. Fuck this movie. Like I didn't care about anything going on in it. I watched it. I thought the wrestling was poorly done. I thought like their attempt to try to kind of like pull together this story with the Sheik and the bullshit of the guy being the head of the PMRC up there telling everyone not to listen to Twisted Sister and like all of that bullshit. Like it just, I'm like, make a documentary or make, a wrestling movie. You can't do both.
Right.
Because it didn't commit to either side. And then the wrestling matches they showed, a lot of the stuff was super truncated, so you didn't know exactly what was going on or who
Sure.
it was. It's like, basically all I got was, well, the Sheik goes from town to town. They want people to think that there's like a legitimate uprising of people that think the Sheik should be taken out of wrestling, but the people in wrestling don't really care because he brings people in
Right.
seats, and that's it.
What is funny about it is actually like though that is the what they did, like that Detroit territory was very like it wasn't quite St. Louis, but I think it was only like a 2 or 3 building territory. Like they do TV, they had a smaller building, and then they did Cobalt Hall.
Well, you know what?
And-
Fuck Detroit too then.
Well, if I can jump in for a second, I'm not like I'm not. I personally think as an in-ring art form, like there are elements of wrestling that is better than it's ever been. I think for me, the area that I'm not interested in is like the Monday Night War era. Like that doesn't have very much rewatchability for
Well,
me.
you are interested in the Wednesday Night Wars.
I love the Wednesday Night Wars,
Ooh.
but I love all wrestling, like in the same way I love all music, or I love all different kinds of movies. So I can appreciate, all elements of wrestling. I like every single kind. The only thing that I think is lost on the territory era that we don't have now is I thought it was cool that there used to be a champion, and he would go from like place to place. I thought that was
Yeah, yeah.
badass. That's something that I wish
Like
that they
Flair
could,
going
yeah.
through the territories.
Sure, yeah. That I like, especially Flair. He's like the quintessential one in my opinion because
Yeah.
he was like the prototypical heel champ. And as far as the wrestling in this film goes, you actually don't see a ton of wrestling. But what's really interesting about it is that there was a footage boom a few years ago, and you got to see a lot of older wrestling show up on YouTube. And I'm not sure how like in my thought process was that it was edited because older Southern wrestling was like a blood and gut sort of thing, and when the heels were in control, it was slowly paced and stuff like that. And Abdullah's stick has been the same right up until he got pinned for having hepatitis C and making people sick for real. But he was still at 70 doing the same kind of boring shtick that he was doing now or was doing then. What I found out is that what was cool about the Sheik, and they actually could have made a cool documentary about it if that's what they were doing, was that he actually he ran the territory, and he actually almost got TV shut down like a whole bunch of times, from my understanding of it, from talking to people that were around and stuff like that, because he was so people believed it, people bought into it, and the matches were they'd bring Andre the Giant in, and you'd wait all night to see an Andre the Giant match, and then you saw kind of what happened, and it seemed like it was edited, but that was actually the whole match. I bet you a lot of those instances were the whole match. The Sheik would go in, he would stab somebody, somebody would stab him.
He'd legit
and, and then the match would be over. And I think that
and just as a point of reference, you have pretty much touched on this, but back then, there was no WWE.
No.
It was all territorial.
It was WWE.
WWF.
There was WWF at that time. That was 1980.
Oh, I guess I was thinking about the 70s when it was filmed.
Yeah.
All filmed in the 70s, so.
Was it filmed in the 70s? I thought that it was filmed.
No, it was filmed in the 70s, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Late 70s.
So.
And the footage sat around for 7 or 8 years. But, I don't know the exact time as to when, wrestling, one wrestling product became something you could watch in all areas of the country. But I do remember that World Class was available in the late 80s, if I remember correctly.
In the early 83, the boom of World Class, what happened? They were on the World Christian Network, which just coincidentally, our WLVI, was that what 25 was?
WLVI was Channel 56.
Okay, no, so whatever 25 was.
WSBK,
do you remember Bill and Chris?
That was 38.
Yeah, Channel 25 on Saturday mornings got co-opted by the World Christian Network, so early in the morning was the 4-H club and shit like that.
Yeah.
But then at 11 o'clock, World Class came on. So that was one of the first. And then Joe Blanchard's territory was actually on USA before WWF was. And then not a lot of people had. This wasn't a basic cable staple on the East Coast, but, World Championship Wrestling, the NWA, was on 605 on the Superstation.
Oh, I remember that. TBS, right?
Yeah. But it wasn't until late '83 that Vinnie Mac started to be everywhere, and that was that became wrestling for for everywhere, because that was the wrestling that you could see everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So I just wanted to give that perspective, because a lot of folks may not realize that back then you had your local wrestling was being played on television, and that's why they'd have guys travel around like Ric Flair. He'd go to different territories. He'd bring the NWA Heavyweight Championship and defend it, and it was a big deal to see the guy, he is the guy, go against your top guy, and he probably made so much money in those days.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
or Andre. I mean, here's what's funny about it. Everyone in this movie that was in it for a long time were attractions. I think that's really interesting. Andre didn't work in Detroit all the time.
Yeah.
He was just in Detroit for a battle royal, and Dusty was probably at that time on loan from Florida. So, they were attraction. The Funks were they had their own territory. I'm not 100% sure if it was still going at that point in the 70s, but they were gods in Japan, So, it was really interesting. They gave from the documentary point of view, and I'm sure the Sheik was involved in it, they made it seem like this territory might have, if you were a wrestling fan, was a really big deal because all these guys work there. But they were probably just in and out. It would be the equivalent of oh, this is my wrestling territory, and I have, I have Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage and Jake the Snake Roberts in it. It's really cool, but they were really only there for one, probably just to be in that movie. So, but yeah.
And how about you, Chris? I know that you're not the biggest wrestling fan, but what did this film do for you, if anything?
It made me realize that people will believe a Canadian could be from the Middle East.
Yeah, they fucking hated him.
Yeah.
Also, there's a level of gullibility in some of the fans that I find absolutely astounding, because there's this whole subplot, this manufactured subplot of Stop the Sheik, which, by the way, they couldn't spell Sheik correctly on the sign they were holding up.
Yeah.
They
It's
left
not
out
really helping us as wrestling fans, are they?
But like stop the Sheik, but just don't let him wrestle. Don't
Right.
put him on the bill. I mean,
Right.
you could not have him come. You could stop him at the door.
Well, you'd not show up. That would be the way that end of things would.
Yeah,
Would
but
pan.
like they didn't realize that he's in his whole getup. He's got his snake.
Right.
He's in the ring against one other guy. He doesn't come in when there's two guys going at it.
No.
Wanting to believe something is a very powerful thing.
Right.
I'm sure everybody knows that. But
Right.
I want to talk about the whole wrestling isn't how it used to be kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's the same with movies and music and everything, and nostalgia and the time frame that your likes are cemented are very important, because what my father considers good is 20 years outside of what I consider
Right.
good. I like John Hughes movies.
He likes sock pops.
No, he's not that old. But somebody, a girl that's like 20, 25 years younger than me might like Nicholas Sparks movies. I totally disagree with the fact that those are good or worth liking, but I would never anymore argue about that.
Mm-hmm.
People like
What they like.
prequels of anything. Not being particular.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Chris is
That-
not a big fan of Star Wars. I can't glean anything from that.
And that's fine. Oh, by the way, Rogue One's a prequel.
It is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
It might be a chance for a good one.
It might be.
yeah, no, huh?
It might be the
Like-
first prequel, because that when you basically Star Wars, you hear all about it, and
Yeah.
it's interesting that that's the first thing referenced in Star Wars, basically. So we're going back to that. So
Right. My daughter Ripley will every now and then, if we watch Clone Wars and Jar Jar shows up and he is just straight up pure like Jerry Lewis comic relief, she likes that version of him, and I can't blame her, because it's fine. But she likes Bosk.
There you go.
yeah,
That's her favorite character.
nice.
Smart girl.
But it changes, and everybody's idea. Like I am fully responsible for subjecting my children to the wrong things, but it's making them who they are, and I'm very curious to see, in an internet instant access age, what kind of nostalgia like our kids, me and Bill and everybody like the 10-year-old and younger kids, what is their nostalgia gonna be, considering they can go and watch anything whenever they want?
Well,
Yeah.
right. It's like, oh,
That's a good
dude, remember
point.
that time I clicked on my phone and I saw this? Like, it's
Yeah.
once again, it's like Bill's story, or even I think pretty much all of ours, where we would have that friend and we'd go over their house, or
Yeah.
so and so had cable, or
Yeah.
we found this, and it's not only is it watching the medium, from comics to music to film or whatever, it's who you're with and what the temple is.
Yeah.
Right.
I think there's always a temple, whether it's a basement or whether it's a bike shop,
Well,
whatever the
you
fuck.
do consider your basement a temple.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't think nostalgia is gonna be a thing. I don't know. That's very unarticulate, but I just don't understand. It's not because I don't understand the things that the people who that young people like now. You know what I mean? Because there was trash when I was a kid, and there's trash now.
Sure.
And there's good music now that young people like, and there's trash now that young people like.
Yeah.
The line between Taylor Swift and the new kids on the block is very thin, and I think that the problem is that things aren't. You don't get you're not stuck with anything anymore, so you don't have an intimacy with it at all, right? So, like we often talk about on this show, when you'd go rent a VHS tape, and even if you didn't love it, like you fucking paid for it, so you're gonna watch it. You know what I mean? And even if you didn't like it, you'd get some memories out of like having some yucks about it, like. over the years, me and Tiny have grown to love the Stuart Gordon movie Dolls because we rented it and made fun of it and had all these like, running jokes about it. So now now it's like actually a movie that we have a degree of reverence for because we made fun of it. Now, if you don't like something, you just slide left.
Right.
You don't have any reason to even look at it because there's 8 million other videos. And it's not so much with the age. I find myself doing it the other day. I went down a Weird Al rabbit hole trying to find some like what new Weird Al songs were. And if I didn't know what the song was, the original song, I just went to like, oh, this is the White Stripes. I know what the White Stripes are.
Yeah.
I get it. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, that's how they were hardwired. That's the difference of me taking advantage of the convenience of the technology, and them. That's all they know. You know what I mean? So, this looks blurry. I'm not gonna watch that.
But counterpoint to that, look at like grandparents when VHS came around. And they would look at that and think, oh, you can walk into a store and pick up any movie you want at any point and watch it. I had, once a movie was out of the theaters, if it wasn't on the 8 o'clock, Sunday night movie, we never saw it again.
Yeah, it was gone.
So that's the interesting point about nostalgia, especially in regard to this movie, is that it's your formative years and where you are and what you're doing. So like my kids are going to grow up and remember that we watch like stupid cat fail videos and I do voices and I swear a lot when the cats do dumb shit and they love it, and that's going to be part of their nostalgia.
Right.
Like my wife and I got this huge like nostalgia kick in the face from Stranger Things.
Right.
But my girls are going to remember that as that's the show that was for grown-ups that we watched and we turned off all the lights and had popcorn and all that.
Right.
So it'll be different. It'll be a different kind of nostalgia. But like when we look at stuff now that kid that like, oh, remember 90s nostalgia? I'm like, there's no such thing. But there is. But it's not for me. It's not my, like, Power Rangers is not a thing I'm ever going to be nostalgic about.
Right.
Maybe.
But I think the twins and Travis are in the minority, though, because they have very good parents.
And cool parents.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's very simple. Like, I deal, and I hate to say it because I have a few of them that are good, but, like, I deal with fucking idiots every day at my day job that are of...
We all do.
I don't.
Yeah, of the like 20 to of the like 17 to 25. Fuck it. Like honestly, like the difference between the dumb 22-year-olds that I deal with and their idiosyncrasies that drive me up a wall and the dumb 32-year-olds that I have to deal with like are very minimal. Like, but it's all from the same.
Surprised you didn't say 40-year-olds.
No, the same habit forming. Bad habit forming sort of stuff,
And actually, Chris, I just wanted to take it back to your point when our grandparents were, wondering about VHS movies. Their nostalgia probably involved fighting Nazis in war bonds. Their formative years were fighting,
Jesus,
with scrap metal. So,
yeah,
it's like, hey, remember that time we fought Nazis? Yeah, or they bombed Hawaii.
Yeah.
So one thing,
there was probably a lot of resentment for the baby boomers and Generation X.
Oh, sure.
One thing I wouldn't mind is if the 80s kept coming back around on a loop. Like if shows like Stranger Things are doing so well, maybe that's going to be like this generation's, that's the thing that they look for, look back towards in their childhood, So it'll be interesting if it just was like this cyclical thing where the 80s came back every 20 years or something.
I was trying to explain to somebody that Stranger Things is kind of like my parents or grandparents' Happy Days.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Good point. That's really smart.
That's a good one.
I actually, and I'm sure that, I always make fun of you, but, like, I think that you're, like, 9 or 10 days older than me, Chris?
Yeah.
Like, it's not very much. But I think that for me, Stranger Things, I had to, like, I'm not even kidding. I've told Wolfie a bunch of times. I turned it off initially.
Yeah.
Because not that those characters at that opening scene were there wasn't very clear proxies between me and my friends. We were all kind of that one same like the lead nerd, like but like literally like it almost made me uncomfortable how it was, like how spot on. Like it was almost like I was happy that the inappropriate thing poster was there because it was like my only tether to that this was a movie, because I watched it and I was like, holy shit, this is Brian Kokonak's wood paneled basement that we spent, that was our temple that we spent all that time in, and they're playing, like it's Saturday while the rest of the world is doing important things, and like we were in a basement from 11 a.m. when we could get somebody to bring us there till 11 p.m. when somebody would pick us up, rolling dice and being part of this fucking game and watching movies and whatever else, and like, and then when I watched it, forget about it, like it was even more of an onion, but like it was a really strange thing. Like that Happy Days thing is
it was Stranger Things.
Yeah, that Happy Days thing is interesting because I wonder, like my parents were a little bit older. Like my parents were younger. You know what I mean? Like my old uncle is like, my uncles and my cousins that are older than me are only like 8 years older than me.
Well, you're right. Your dad's 7 days older because that's Chris.
Right. Sure. Yeah. But I mean, like, so Happy Days might not have played for them, but I bet you that my dad watching, what was that show, like China Beach or something like that?
Yes.
Or like to like have, the stuff where they would go back to like what was on TV and what was going on like when you were a little kid and everything else.
The
like,
Wonder Years.
Sure. No, that's, yeah. My dad was probably a little too, like, my dad was right in the middle of that. So that's like Happy Days and the Wonder Years. Yeah. Like my dad sailed by Vietnam a few times, but he wasn't in it. He didn't have to fight anybody in it.
And moonlighting. It's like Night Court and moonlighting.
Yeah.
Night Court's the shit. We talking about fucking that?
Yeah. But
did I miss that?
one thing I think, to bring it back, Bill, that I find really interesting that you found, or it was just, I guess I just want to clarify if it was just based, if you were qualifying why you were disinterested, or you pulled away some sort of that this was like some sort of flag for the glory days of pro wrestling or something like that, or was it just that you just that era of wrestling doesn't resonate with you?
It's kind of a combination. I mean, first and foremost, it's a poorly made film
For sure.
In every
I think
sense.
mostly because it was edited with a fucking machete.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be like a lot of things. Like one thing that I remembered from like, because it popped up a few years ago on YouTube, and I got to watch it like in part one other time, and then when I went back to watch it, it was down again. But like one thing that stuck with me then, before I knew about the horror movie element, I was like, it's kind of weird that everyone that works in this studio except this one guy is a beautiful woman. Like all the camera operators and everyone else, but like, that's every horror movie from that era, right? Like, so, like it is and it was definitely edited with a machete.
Yeah, but I mean, what it comes down to is that, I mean, I wasn't interested in the product, and it was poorly made, so it was like, it would have had, be a pretty good film, or at least like if it was a documentary, had like, a lot of interesting points to it.
If it was structured like Pumping Iron,
Yeah,
I think it would have helped.
Because I could care less about weightlifting or the Mr. Olympia, but I love Pumping Iron because it's so goddamn interesting.
Yeah, there weren't enough like looking into the camera, like just talking about stuff, and the stuff that was so fake.
Yeah.
Well, it was also weird. Like the stuff that was real was really weird. Like George Cannon talking about like his resume and stuff like that, and like like all that sort of stuff was like sort of like out of like. I don't know. I don't want to say out of place because it was probably in place in one of the iterations that this movie is supposed to be. But like in the finished product, definitely out of place.
Who was... I recognized a bunch of people because I was watching wrestling in the late 80s, so a bunch of them were still around. Who was the guy that talked about kicking his dog?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
just
yeah, yeah.
I was gonna ask the same thing. I didn't know who that guy was. Do
The
you
guy
know,
with
Mars?
with a wife and the kid. And
Yeah.
He's
For
got,
some reason, I'm at a loss.
I think
he's got the really bad mustache. He said he was the one who
he coined the term.
He had the titular line. Yeah,
That I like to hurt people. Was that? That was because he was. I'm confused. He was a.
he was sitting with his wife and daughter, I think.
And she looks scared.
He was the captain. What's his name? Right? Like he's the guy from the beginning. That
No.
It was like halfway
fighting
through.
Bulldog Bauer. No, but like he was in it a bunch of times.
Yeah, he
like
was
George,
in it. Yeah,
Yeah, George Gannon was his manager. He was
I'll
he was
try to
nobody.
Okay.
Like
He came off as a real wife-abusing dickhead.
Yeah.
Right, she was scared, right? Right,
It
Chris?
seemed like it.
There
Yeah.
was something wrong with that scene. Oh,
Yeah.
the dude from the fucking metal radio show was awesome. He
yeah,
looked
that
kinda
guy
like,
was awesome.
Guys, for rock and roll radio.
I thought he was a wrestler. I'm like, he's fucking excellent. He looks like Oates.
Yeah. I do think that I do think it is high time, and I don't know how to do it. Though they almost did it with JBL back a few years ago when he was champion, with how much everyone hated him.
Yeah.
Like, I do think it's high time. Like, I think we're due that Sheik character because there hasn't been one since him. Not necessarily like a Sheik, and not necessarily a xenophobic sort of thing. You know, you just don't recognize him because he has glasses on. He's that guy from the beginning. He's Captain. What's his name?
Oh, the glass trick does work.
He fought.
Clark Kent. That's his name.
Yeah, he so he's the guy at the beginning that fought.
No, I knew he was in it before. I just didn't. I don't know his
Yeah,
name.
his name's Captain. I can't remember.
Captain Dog Killer.
No, it's Captain something.
It's all right. We don't need to know.
He's the one. Him and Bulldog Bulldog Bauer are like the one territorial guy who they focus on this, you know.
Hoo-ah!
But yeah, like I do think wrestling is due another character that like could cause riots and stuff like that. Like I think it's like high time to have somebody who like really pushes the
It's John
people's
Cena
buttons.
when he turns heel finally.
No, I think he'll start getting cheered. That's how backwards it is, you know. Like
I think it's really hard in this day and age for them to get like a monster heel over like that, because like Seth Rollins comes out and tells everyone how fucking terrible they are, and people are like, "Yep, we're
Yeah.
terrible. We love you."
Well,
Yep.
yeah, because you love the bad guys now. It's not the same thing where you got Sergeant Slaughter going up against the Iron Sheik. You
Right.
can't do a Muslim, Islam, Middle East character anymore.
Well, this came up.
It's-
Well, what you could do, and this is why it almost worked with JBL because he wasn't very talented or coordinated. But like the reason Seth Rollins is over is that he's awesome. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But if you had that guy,
Talent in the ring more now
Yeah.
than the actual character. Whereas
Right.
back in those days, it was all about the character. It
Exactly.
didn't matter what they did in the ring.
but imagine if a guy got in the ring, Seth Rollins or whoever else, right, and fucking like played up to like that sort of like even if they did this with John Cena if he turned heel or somebody, right? They got the guy in the middle of the fucking ring and they threw on the chin lock, and the babyface got out of it, and then he cheated and put him back on. Like they played on that, like that they want to see 9 million moves. You know what I mean? That they, and then have a little bit of like mic skills.
This dude, Ed George, the one we were talking about.
Right, Captain Ed George, right?
Yeah, he's the son of the Sheik.
Oh, really? I didn't
That's
know
what,
that.
that's what.
So
says-
that explains why he's
Yeah.
the other United States champion.
Yeah.
But so he's Sabu's. Is that Sabu's dad?
I wonder.
Yeah. But
Oh shit.
you know, I think that what I will say, Bill, is that I bet you that I could show you some old wrestling from the same time that would blow your mind apart. That didn't look that different from wrestling now.
Oh, I'm sure.
This just isn't it. This was like a real blood and guts. Everybody bled in every match, like almost like a not as good and not as balanced, but the same type of freak show style wrestling that Paul Heyman would eventually make ECW be. Right down to the women wrestling the men. Actually, we're kind of watching that part now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I say it a lot when we talk about the wrestling movies that I don't like, the way they make wrestling look dumb, and this is kind of one of them, even though I have a little more sentimentality about it because, at least as opposed to people pretending to be wrestlers, it's like the Funks and it's like the Goons and that whole get rid of the Sheik subplot that make everybody look stupid and stuff like that. But like, there's different kinds of wrestling all the time. Like I have some friends. Wiley always gives me a hard time for liking wrestling, and I always say, and I could be wrong, but I bet you that I could find a wrestling that she would enjoy.
Just show her Finn Balor's abs, and she'll be.
No, she thinks when I show her the wrestling boys that I think is handsome, she says she likes boys.
What?
She doesn't she
Show
thinks that they
her
look like girls.
Finn Balor's abs.
Yeah.
I
Even-
downloaded on Xbox Live. They do their free with gold.
Yeah.
And one of the wrestling games, one of the 2016 ones, I don't know which one because I don't really play them. It was there for free, so I downloaded it and I turned to Ripley and I said, "Hey, Ripley, I downloaded a game with a whole bunch of shirtless men fighting each other. I thought you'd have fun with that."
Yeah.
And she went, "Yes, I will."
I mean, like, here's a perfect example. You know, Bill, not a wrestling fan, but I don't know how it is now, so I guess I could be wrong. But if we had brought both these guys, I mean, Chris, not a wrestling fan, and you know, Bill, more of a WWF style fan. But if we brought both these guys to a Chikara show when we were going all the time and all that stuff was going on, like you're like, if
The
your kids were this age
yeah.
now, like everybody would have had a great time, like, because it's like it's a different thing. You know what I mean? It's like a different kind of art. It's the Aquabats version of pro wrestling.
To be
Almost.
fair, anytime I go to any event, I enjoy it so much more than watching it at home.
Yeah.
And I'm looking squarely at baseball for that one.
Nice.
Yeah. I usually fall asleep at live baseball, but I
Lay,
could definitely
lay off
understand.
baseball.
What?
I love baseball.
But yeah, like I think that you know, it's I will always defend wrestling as an art form. I guess my point is that I don't disagree with you, Bill, but I'm just a tiny bit more nostalgic about it, because even though I understand that it's not very good, like I'm very intrigued by, almost in the same way that ECW was for its time. I don't really understand how it worked, because in retrospect, a lot of it's not very good or very engaging as far as its in-ring product goes. So, like, you know, I have an overall, like, I have like a more like a, what's the word I'm looking for, Wolfie? Like a,
I don't know.
Affinity?
no, like a, I'm looking for a particular kind of science here, almost like a
Hydroponic.
huh?
Psychology?
Not psychology, like
I just don't know the point you're trying to make.
the like as this era of historical art, you know what I mean? Like a sociological interest in this, as I do, because it was so eventful that they're still running a lot of these people on these shows in Detroit in much smaller venues now.
Yeah.
Like in you know, the main event up until he died would still be Bobo Brazil and the Sheik. So it's you know, like I get where you're coming from, and I certainly don't agree with the fact that people say wrestling is better at any given time, because it's different. It's like saying music was better.
Exactly. It evolves, and you know, it builds on what preceded it. You know, and without what came before, it wouldn't be what it is now.
Yeah, I do like when I get like a VHS rip of something that we would have got a hold of on VHS back in the day. Like it's more fun for me to watch an All Japan show looking like a VHS rip than it is to see like a nice high quality master that somebody might have now. You know, just that's the era that I think, you know, is for me where the nostalgia plays in, not is in the actual art of the wrestling. But I was surprised to hear you that was kind of your opening salvo of that wrestling was better now.
I think that's more from the being frustrated with a lot of old school wrestling fans that won't even consider that stuff that's going on now is at least as good,
Right.
Or, you know, in a different way. I mean, it's the same. I have the same argument with closed-minded people of like, oh, there's no good music now. Well, you're not listening to
Oh, no way.
Like, it's the same type of argument. It's that closed-mindedness that's frustrating.
I hear a new favorite band. I ride in. I travel with. I have two like assistants at work, and one of them's like a musician, like who's in his early 20s, and I get a new favorite band that I've never heard of in my life, and two of them have been from my city. You know, so like I think that, you know, like I agree with you 100% on that. Like, you're just not looking.
All right, we got to close this up. Poor Chris looks like he's going to fall over here.
Oh no, I was gonna say I was listening to
Magic
Rockabilly
106?
Station on Spotify.
Yeah.
And this woman started singing. I'm like, oh, I wonder what year this was recorded. Oh, Imelda May. Oh, that's new. I like her.
It's brand new, yeah, right.
Yeah. So I come across new music like in the weirdest places.
Sure.
Like listening to 60s.
Right, but you also don't say that all new stuff that comes out is crap.
No.
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 Like those people that do that.
I don't like the song Stitches by Shawn Mendes because my girls sing it all the time.
I don't like the song Stitches by Shawn Mendes because it's a bad song.
Yeah.
Well, while I get the music queued up for the verdict, Raven Shadow, I just am really curious what you thought because we haven't heard from you about this.
No, I think I'm closer with Bill on this.
Yes, oh my God.
Word. Fucking tag team.
I will defend. Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
But Raven Shadow does like the
Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I do, but that's what got me back in the game, though. That and the ECW stuff. And I knew more guys in this than I thought I did. I do appreciate the history of it, but this is not the era that resonates for me, for my nostalgia. Or I totally get it. It just wasn't for me. I mean, I'm going into it and I'm seeing it's a mockumentary, right? I mean, like it
Kind of, yeah. That's what it ended up being, almost in a way.
the STS dude fucking bugged the shit out of me. I don't like that. Some of the footage was cool. I'm not a real Dusty Rhodes fan.
Blasphemy.
But he fucking looked great in this.
He did.
He looked fucking good.
Yeah.
Although Hard fucking Times is a fucking killer promo.
Yeah.
However.
So yeah, it was nice nostalgia factor there. It just, once again, I guess the documentary I wanted wouldn't have existed back then, and as we've learned, it wasn't even that. It became
right.
It wasn't that. So it wasn't that long.
Didn't you,
You
say,
could take
Wolfie,
solace in that.
that they were that guy has all the footage now and is going to try to put it together at some point, or didn't you read that somewhere?
No. The thing that I said was that he had the footage and what made this movie.
Oh,
So I don't think it's ever going to be anything else.
that's too bad.
So let's go to the verdict.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, verdict time. We're going to let you know whether this flick was a trick or a treat, and any final thoughts we may have. Why don't we let Chris go so he can, if he wants to take off.
Go.
Oh, great. Thanks. This is a trick. And the only thing personally that I think this movie is useful for is as a time capsule. If you're researching the history of professional wrestling, this is a really good launching point for seeing how the larger than life trash talking kind of worked its way into the mid to late 80s stuff through to now, because you see it, but it's really, except for when what's his name, Dusty's talking about eating beans.
Yeah.
It's kind of low key, but it's there, but it's not to the spectacle that it becomes.
Right.
And I really like seeing Andre the Giant. He just always looks so nice and happy.
Yeah.
And speaking of larger than life, how the fuck did he fit in that Jeep?
Jesus Christ, right?
I'm guessing his legs were outside of it.
He was like fucking Hightower from Police Academy 1 when he pulled the front seat out.
All right, so there it is, Chris. I know you have to run. Are you doing? Are you serious tonight as well?
No, but
Okay,
I gotta
good.
work in the morning.
Yeah. Well, Chris, before you head off, why don't you tell people about the original movie game because it's awesome.
Yeah, actually, thank you. My friend Frank and I, we have spent the last 2 years testing and retesting a game called the Original Movie Game, which is a card game that you get the titles of movies, and long story short, the whole idea is to try and create the longest string of movies connected by actors. That's the basic idea, actors, that you can. But if you're people like me and Bill and you guys, you can connect it with directors or where it was filmed or the fucking film stock that was used. Anything you want to connect these together with, you can. And we have a thing that we're going real slow with everything, where we've created an actual company, got our tax ID number, we have UPC codes. My wife's design company is working on the final card designs, and it's we're doing it through Indiegogo because we didn't want to just like jam it all into 30 days for
Right.
Kickstarter because we don't have the time because we're working.
Right.
So it's on Indiegogo. It's the original movie game, and there's gonna be a whole bunch of literally one of a kind, like perks. Like I'll hand draw cards for people, depending on the tier that you get, and it's hopefully gonna be fun, and it's the kind of thing where we can do almost an infinite amount of expansion packs for too.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
It's super awesome. And so there's a GoFundMe, and isn't there a website as well?
Yeah, it's the originalmoviegame.com, and all the links are there for, I think is it GoFundMe or Indiegogo? I have no idea. Is it? Yeah. I feel weird asking people for money, especially when we don't have like a finalized product to show people, but we're going to get a better video of actual gameplay, and we're going to do up some prototype decks.
And full frontal.
Yeah. We'll show the full front.
That's
So excited
awesome.
for you.
Yeah, hopefully maybe when it comes out, maybe we can we'll get our copy, and then we can play it on the air or something.
Sure,
like
that'd be
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun. So everyone go check out the original movie game. It sounds
Yeah.
like it's going to be a fucking great thing, and it's all like everything's done in house. Like you know, your wife's doing the art. Like it's so cool. Like I love that you guys are all doing it.
Right. And
Yeah,
if-
so we're gonna do this analog game, and then hopefully we will figure out digital, just like
Sure.
how film went. It'll go from actual film to digital.
And if this is your first time meeting him, because I know we get a bunch of new people all the time on Trick or Treat Radio,
Yeah.
like not just in the fact that like I consider him family, is in the fact that he is one of us. He was one of the original dudes, fighting with me about superhero movies on the Fib, and he's the real deal. So if you got some shekels, throw it that way,
Yeah,
because
definitely.
Thank you.
we want him to win.
Absolutely. So thanks, Chris. I know it's a very late day for you, and you got to get up early. So we appreciate you hanging out.
Thank you. It's tough having 8-year-old twins and working 13-hour shifts at the
I can't
What a
even
nightmare.
imagine. Yeah.
No.
So yeah.
All right, buddy. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll catch up with you soon, Chris.
Thank you. That was fun.
See you.
All right.
Me though, bitches.
That's right. Let's, Bill, why don't you go ahead and give your thoughts and your verdict?
Yo, this movie is a straight up fucking trick. Back alley hooker in fucking the dark side of Vegas. It's like you stumbled into Circus and you thought you were getting the buffet, and you actually got the $1.99 T-bone.
The $1.99 tea bag.
No, not the $1.99 tea bag. I would get that for 50 cents.
Oh, where do you go?
Here's the thing, man. Yo, I love wrestling. I love it. And I can watch the old stuff. And I agree with Mars when he said, there's definitely stuff you can pull out and you can show me that I would love. I don't doubt that. I've seen, especially like American Dream. I love Dusty Rhodes back in the day.
Yeah.
But the thing is, looking at this with the critical eye, is that it offers nothing other than, if you are a fan of some of these wrestlers, those particular territories, it doesn't offer you anything else. It doesn't tell a story. It doesn't inform you. It doesn't give you anything more than what you're actually seeing on screen. So it's a poorly made film all around. There's nothing that I can say that's going to be like, oh, well, it did have footage of Andre the Giant getting out of a Jeep. I mean, that's like the best thing I can say about the movie.
Yeah.
And that guy's mustache when he was like, for rock and roll radio.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the best.
He is good.
I mean, sorry, it's a straight up trick.
All right. Rave Shadow.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing a book report on shitty documentaries or mockumentaries, it's fine. It's kind of like the Zapruder film. If you have to watch it for research, you can watch it. No, I mean it. I don't know.
It's the fucking Cliff Notes of wrestling movies.
Yeah, I guess if once again it didn't resonate. If you want a flashback to something, but I don't know. I'm reaching here. Yeah, not in my wheelhouse.
All right, Marsman.
I'm gonna say this is a treat. I mean, it's not. I probably, without the bit of background, I'll be honest, that you gave me this time, would have not liked it because it's not as cool as memory serves. But like, I think that as a thing, like as you know, even if this wasn't about wrestling, this neat history that this was supposed to be this and supposed to be this and then turned into this is really intriguing to me. And then you add the element of, you know, like just being a big wrestling fan, like, you know, it was worth it. To put it in OTC terms, this is a C- for me.
Can I do one more thing? I think
Sure.
And I was thinking this, and I think Dynamo kind of said it. If I took what he said from it, I'm more interested hearing this in the story behind this. Like, I want, like, Jodorowsky's I Like to Hurt People.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, Steven Scarlatta's
yeah. I want both those guys on this.
Yeah.
And I want to see that documentary.
It's fair enough, yeah. All right, well, I got a text from MZ about his verdict here, so let me just read this.
That's fucking long.
Can we just
Yeah,
ask?
it's kinda long.
Did MZ think it was real? Like, I'm just curious. Like,
Of course not.
The
not
Sheik's
that
a real
wrestling is
asshole.
real, but
Well,
like,
let me read his thing. So
Okay.
he said, I thought this was a well-made documentation on wrestling, sort of. At times, it can be considered a pseudo-documentary with POV shots of any wrestler talking to his opponent, and those like Dusty Rhodes and Andre the Giant don't come off as believable when the camera is solely on them. They are essentially out of their element, so you can't totally blame them. An interesting note in the crew is cameraman Tim Philo. Name sounded familiar, so I looked him up. He also worked on the Evil Dead films. Seeing this was filmed in Detroit at Cobo Hall, it's easy to get
Makes
probably
sense, yeah.
more than one Evil Dead veteran for this film. There might have been another, I'm not sure. That's a very interesting point. I'm glad you brought that up. The film comes off more as a big shoot with multiple wrestlers and managers rather than an actual documentary. No insider secrets given, understandable, but the idea of a documentary is to learn anything new. But really nothing new is offered, even to a hardcore wrestling fan of the mid-'80s. It's a slightly interesting look at the business without the business. Good for nostalgia, but don't be shocked if you're felt wanting more. Tepid treat. We should have him text in his reviews every week.
yeah, I know that was like that was so concise.
That was very lucid.
That was
Jesus
very, very
Christ.
concise.
I got to follow that up.
Yeah.
That's it's probably the best reviews ever given. This was interesting for me, but you know, with so much going on, I mean, it was a horror film, it was a documentary, it was made into a pseudo film. There's no way that this could come off as a good, coherent piece of cinema to stand on its own. I think if we weren't wrestling fans, this would be terrible, and because it's not put together very well.
It was terrible.
Well, sure, but there are things we can get from it that you know that will please us, because it's cool seeing Andre the Giant get out of a fucking Jeep and hear Dusty Rhodes cutting a promo and seeing the two managers yell at each other. Like, that was probably one of my favorite scenes of the entire thing. But it's such a weirdly put together film. It almost felt like a wrestling angle wrapped around a pseudo documentary. Yeah. And it almost felt like it was put together like an actual wrestling card. Like, I don't know if there's any thought put into it like that, but it felt like we're getting these different angles kind of all together. And the Heather Feather one I thought was cool, but felt really out of place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, like, I would have liked to have seen that explored more.
Me too.
But, you know, because that at the time probably would have made a really interesting story. I would have loved to have seen this as originally planned as a horror film. That would be fucking interesting. And, you know, I think this is, as I've stated before, this is a curiosity. If you're a wrestling fan, especially of wrestling from the 70s and 80s, this is definitely a must-see. Whether you like it or not, there's some cool stuff to get from it. But beyond that, if you're not a fan of wrestling, you're probably not going to get much out of this. It is available on YouTube right now if anyone out there wants to see it. I Like to Hurt People. And I'm gonna say it's a tepid treat, just like MZ, because I think there's enough here to warrant a watch for wrestling fans. But if you're not a wrestling fan, I would say skip it.
I'll probably never watch this again.
Yeah, I probably won't
either.
Yeah.
I will, because there's a couple guys in here that I need to go add to my giant database that Wolfie knows I've been making for
Yes.
like 120 years. But other than that, I won't go back.
Dynamo's going to posthumously release his book of wrestling.
Yeah, no, I hope I have enough together so that it will come out when I die. But
So that is I Like to Hurt People. And next week, we're going to do a newish flick. We're going back to VOD. It's been a couple weeks now. We're going to do the recently released to video on demand Sunchoke.
Yeah.
And Sunchoke features Barbara Crampton is in it. And let me pull up the stats and see who else is in it as well. But Raven Shadow got to catch a glimpse of one of the scenes.
Yeah.
And he seemed to like it quite a bit.
Oh, fucking
A little
sold.
too much.
What's that?
You liked it a little too much, I
Yeah,
think.
exactly.
You haven't seen it, Bill. I like when girls are in tubs. It's nice. It's nice. That's what I'm into.
Good tubs. Good tubbing.
Yeah, good tubs.
So I've heard some pretty decent things about this. It's been getting some pretty good reviews. So we're going to check out Sunchoke. If any of you guys want to play along at home, it is available on VOD, and you can do that. And
And it's Sun S-U-N choke.
yeah, 2 words: Sun S-U-N, choke, like we want to choke Raven Shadow sometimes.
that seemed like a really Monster Zero like add in there. Like it was very strange. Like
What was?
him. That was a very not Michael Raven Shadow like observation.
Oh,
The words?
Yeah.
well, no, it's a good point though.
It's a totally good point.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I said it was a very not Monster Zero. I think just the words observation and Michael Raven Shadow don't generally go in the sentence the same.
All right, so Bill, you want to hang out for a few more?
No, I want to go watch NXT.
All right, I can't blame you. I know you got to stay up on wrestling the week before, the week of the big shows. So
I'm so upset that I can't. I don't know how I'm gonna fucking watch it all this week.
I'm not going to be able to. I got to pick and choose. You said Raw wasn't very good, Bill.
Raw was, it was okay. You're not
Okay.
going to, if you watch SummerSlam without catching up on Raw, you're not going to necessarily. Actually, you should watch the beginning and end. And
Yeah.
you'll be all right.
I'll skip through quick. I'll skip.
Yeah.
Because I definitely want to see. And you said you hadn't seen SmackDown yet.
No, but I know that there's a wrestling group I'm on Facebook, and I know that when I was out at a friend's house having dinner, it was fucking blowing up. So something went on.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
What wrestling group are you on?
What was it? Wrestling
Wrestling and Gold?
No.
Why don't you go on there? That's where we are.
That's the one to be on.
Yeah.
Bill's like, nah, fuck you guys. I get enough of you guys.
I like you guys.
Oh, okay. Well,
Wrestle talk.
we appreciate that.
Oh, I hate that one.
I got invited to it by somebody a while back. So
I left that one.
did you really?
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking trolls on there.
I don't know. There's really only maybe 10 people that. But that dude that's like a producer on Impractical Jokers is on there, and I want to work that angle. I'm just kidding. That show could ever possibly.
Oh, maybe that's not what I'm thinking of. Because this one had a lot of fucking people on it.
No, this isn't. No, this is small. It's small,
Oh.
just like your penis.
It's like an acorn attached to his torso.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to get that one in. All right, Bill. Well, why don't you tell folks about what you have going on, since Chris gave his the rundown on his project.
Oh, I don't really have anything new to add to the survival of the film.
That's fine. Just tell people where they can find it.
Yeah, just follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Film Freaks. You can look us up on Facebook, or actually just go to survivalofthefilmfreaks.com. Right now, it just brings to our Facebook page. But we're booking interviews for some stuff. We're going to be doing some stuff in New York, and then some stuff in Worcester, and then also some stuff in Vegas, and then some stuff in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Over the next few months, we've got some names I can't announce, but
it's us, isn't it, Bill?
Yeah, nice. Michael Ray channel.
Hey.
the team from Trick or Treat Radio will be making an appearance. We've got some stuff, but obviously I don't want to jinx anything.
Sure.
Yeah. Wait till it's in the can.
Exactly. We have it on the digital drive and ready to go. But no, it's a cult movie about cult. It's a documentary about cult movies and the business of how things have changed. So we're talking to some old school peeps. We're talking to new school peeps. We got some names. We got names. I promise you, we have names that you will recognize. It's not going to be like one of those documentaries where you get the thing, and it's like, oh, this dickhead and that dickhead, and you're like, I don't know who any of these people are. So, but we've already got a handful of names of people that I promise you guys will know who they are.
Nice.
Awesome. I am super, super excited. Everyone go check out
Can't wait.
Survival of the Film Freaks and follow on social media. You know, these guys will keep you updated about what's going on with it. And also, for the folks who are going to be at Rock and Shock weekend, Bill will be there as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. We'll be doing stuff all weekend that weekend. I
Right.
think.
And just
Absolutely.
like I said about Chris, Kyle is a really good guy.
Big fan of Kyle. Kyle is making
Yeah.
my life
Yeah.
very easy.
I can't wait to hang out with you that weekend, man. I love you so much. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Don't forget about our good buddy Mike White, who's helping with a lot of the casting and some of the production work. His
oh, nice.
That's awesome.
He's to the projection booth. So
Yeah, that
Yeah,
that
cool.
show is
Amazing show.
is intimidating in every way,
it really,
in
but yeah,
length,
that's what's going on.
length and smartness.
Whoa, length? What about girth?
Not
Not
important.
much. Yeah, not important.
All right, Bill. Thanks so much, man. We love doing the Wednesday Night Wars with you, and it's fun to spend a few hours with you and Chris. And
3 hours and 58 minutes and 5 seconds and counting.
Nice.
well, we better end it before it gets to 4 hours. That's
Yeah.
too long.
Hurry up.
You're gonna have to come sing a song with us at the Deadites. We have to do a Stevie Wonder cover or something.
Yeah, that'll work out great. You know, I've only been a singer in hardcore band, so that'll go.
We'll do Bobby Roode's theme song.
Yeah,
Nice.
dude.
Yes.
You're talking to the punk rock singer that's been in an electronic band forever. I'm sure we can work something out.
Okay, sounds good to me.
All right, Bill. Thanks so much, man. We'll catch up with you soon, bud.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, see
See
ya.
you, man.
Do you love a scary story? Do you love to dance? The Big Scary Monster Haunts at Midnight is a collection of dark songs about sex, love, death, revenge, and the end of the world. Brought to you by the world's greatest monster hunting electroshock band, the Deadites. Available on iTunes, Google Music, Amazon, CD Baby, and all other digital distribution sites.
I'm Mike Allred. For the gidgiest listening experience, you gotta check out Trick or Treat Radio.
I'm Ruby Burble.
What's up, y'all? It's me, the Yeti. Telling all the ladies that they couldn't be more fine and that we should knock those boots like Frankenstein. When I want to get my nerd on, I go to Facebook and I go to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. That's the place where I get to talk about all the hip new horror movies, all the cool comics,
Like comics.
RPGs, video games, you name it, we're talking about shit on there. And you could not be any cooler if you were the coolest kid in school. Be the first kid on your block to swing their cock over at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. Just go to Facebook, search for Trick or Treat Radio, ask to join, and it's like Nerd Nirvana, baby, without the shotgun blast. This is the Yeti, signing out. See you at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group.
Follow us on Twitter at The Deadites, TheDeadites.com, and TrickOrTreatRadio.com.
What are you, tough guy? You tough guy?
out your whores. A new monster that you never have seen. A 6'7" chair swinging machine. Ushering in a brand new era. 325 of technical terror. He can wrestle, he's extreme. Most unstoppable juggernaut on the scene. Forget Freddy, forget Michael Myers, forget Jason.
I figured this was appropriate for the Wednesday Night Wars, Mars.
Not playing that song.
No?
No.
This is Psycho Patrick, and it was written for Psycho Patrick. This is his wrestling entrance theme song. So there you go. It also is a favorite, whether or not Dynamo wants to play it or not, of Deadites fans.
Got a bad review, the last review. So
Who gave it a bad review?
Victor Infante.
What did he say?
He said our show was brilliant until we played, I quote, Psycho Patrick, and then it fell apart.
I don't remember that. I read that article.
Read it.
Right now?
Yeah, I'm telling
Jesus. We have a bunch of awesome people hanging out in the chat room. I'm sorry I didn't give him a shout out, but we had
I'm sure they were just complaining.
Bill and Chris. But we do have Jethronomicon. We have
I love him.
Our boy fucking Rocky is hanging out.
I love Rock.
We have Atlantis. We have Slagoth. We got Cornelius. We got Raven Shadow.
What?
It's not the real Raven Shadow because he couldn't figure out how to log into this
No
chat.
way.
So someone is posing as Raven Shadow. And Cornelius is watching scenes from Hardcore Henry right now. Apparently he loves that film.
So I know a lot of our fans are wrestling fans, but I know a lot of them aren't.
Yes, a lot of them are not.
So what would the not wrestling fans that are in the chat room right now want us to talk about?
No, don't give don't
We
give
have
them.
a few minutes. I don't care. I'm not afraid.
Yeah,
Not what Wiley says. I'm stuck talking about what she wants to talk about every
That's
Saturday.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. If people in the chat room, this is one of the benefits of watching live. If you guys want to throw out some topics, go ahead, and we'll get to them in a few moments because Mars has an announcement to make. And let's get to that first. I don't want to forget. So, do you have the deets?
I did.
Okay.
I navigated to the chat room to try to manipulate the conversation.
Whoa, you don't do that.
No. we
Kenny,
say all those people at Tom C.
Kenny Omega is in the chat room.
Nice, not me.
So while Mars pulls that up, we are going to talk a little bit about the big show coming up. This is Rock and Shock Weekend, October 14th, 15th, and 16th. It's going to be an amazing time. We have Rock and Shock going on. We're going to have a booth at Rock and Shock. We'll be there. We'll be filming for our documentary that'll be made that over the course of that weekend. We'll be doing live Trick or Treat radio broadcasts. We'll probably be recording some other footage. Maybe we'll do like some CryptoCast stuff if we have time. We're going to have a lot of awesome people. There's going to be some Grand Guignol Network podcasts recorded on the floor of Rock and Shock. There's going to be lots of awesome people hanging out. There's going to be celebrities. It's going to be a blast. So if you guys have the ability to make it to Worcester, Massachusetts, October 14th, 15th, and 16th, you need to make sure you can do that. Because we already have commitments from a bunch of other people coming into town. We have, obviously, our buddy El Goro is going to be hosting the show on October 15th.
Mm-hmm.
We also have, I know Atlantis, our friend Stephanie Wiley is flying in.
Yep.
We also have, apparently, I think it's been confirmed now, we have Jeremy McFarlane coming from Houston, Texas.
Cannot wait to hug the shit out of that guy.
Yep, him and his girlfriend.
Wrong verb.
Who made the amazing Trick or Treat Radio pillow.
Yep. Right there.
Right there, yeah. So there's going to be some, those are the confirmed ones. I'm sure there's some other people planning it. I've heard some rumblings about maybe Punch Farm maybe showing up.
Oh, Snoop.
So it's going to be a blast. So if you guys have the opportunity, if you have some PTO you need to burn before the end of the year, got some money kicking around in the savings account.
It's paid time off, too.
Yeah, that's right. PTO, paid time off. You got sick days, whatever. You got to make it down there because it's going to be fucking awesome.
I can't wait. I'm really excited.
The whole weekend, there's a convention.
Oh.
There's going to be music going to be played at the Palladium right down the road from DCU.
Real great band so far.
Yeah, so some really good bands. And then on Saturday night, October 15th, there's going to be an amazing show at the Cove Music Hall. It is going to be Mary Catman. It's going to be the Agents of Chaos. It's going to be Rhetoric, and it's going to be headlined by your favorite monster hunting band, the Deadites.
Did you see Rhetoric said something really nice about us?
Yeah, that we apparently had inspired them to do what they do.
Which is completely outrageous because, like, you messaged me and said, do you want to come hang out on our bus?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I was like, Tiny, should we invite him to hang out in your soccer mom van? Like, how did we influence them and they have a fucking bus?
Yeah.
I really feel like somebody never told us to go to the pay window at some point.
Yeah, we should have talked to Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, because that shit keeps happening. Like, people like, you was such a big influence on me. Do you want to be on my plane? And I'm like, no, I have to go to fucking work.
You have fun, though.
Yeah, thanks.
So, Dynamo, why don't you go
So let
ahead?
me first specify, because Ted, the owner of the Cove, who is setting this up, wanted me to make sure that I said that this is for pre-bought tickets. Now, there's one benefit, there's one detraction. The tickets are a little cheaper if you buy them ahead of time, but not as cheap as you if you use your
You all right?
if you use your Rock and Shock wristband to get in. That's the cheapest way.
But you won't. Yeah.
As an incentive for buying your tickets ahead of time via the link on the event page, right? Let me read this little press release for immediate release. The Cove is going to be giving away, the Cove Music Hall, that's where the show is.
Yep.
The Cove is going to be giving away giving away 3-day, 2-night trip for two to the destination of your choice from 20 different destinations if you purchase your tickets to this event, the Deadites, Rhetoric, Agents of Chaos, and Mary Catman on October 15th at the Lucky Dog ahead of time, online. So if you purchase these online ahead of time, you will be entered into this raffle. When you give your printed ticket that you from buying it online to the dude at the door, who I think is a real cool dude, on the night of the event, so October 15th, you will be entered into this. You'll get a raffle ticket, and you'll be entered into the drawing. You have to be there to be present. So just to like kind of encapsulate.
Yes, you have to be there to be present.
To win. You have to be there to get the present. You have to be there to win. So you can't show up and cut out at 9:00 because you're a teetotaler and you've drank too many Coronas.
Yeah. So if you take that bus, then you get there.
By the way, Punch Farm Coronas, you guys are my fucking booze, but Coronas, they were drinking Coronas last week. I don't know what happened.
Were they watching like Fast and the Furious films?
No, it wasn't like a
You
thematic
should send
thing.
him some Kraken.
I may or may not have drank a whole bottle of Kraken while I was on
Cult of Muscle. I know.
Cult of Muscle. Yeah, and I'm back to my old ways. I might have polished off that cannonball full of Captain Morgan too.
That looked good.
Yeah, I didn't like this kind of particular kind actually. We'll talk about that later. But you have to be present to win. So here's what happens. You buy your tickets online. The link is on the event page, right? Yeah. They are $8, right?
$8?
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking good.
It's $10 at the door, $5 with your Rock and Shock thing. Now, as soon as you buy it online ahead of time, you lose the option. I want to make sure I could see somebody. This is Worcester. I could see somebody going like, I bought my tickets online, but I want you to give me $3 more because I have my Rock and Shock wristband. That's not the way it works. But because we realize, because Ted realizes that there's there wasn't much of an incentive to buy them ahead of time, you get entered into this fucking trip. This option to win a trip. Here are some of the cool places. You ready? It's not bullshit either.
Cincinnati.
No, not Cincinnati.
Grafton.
Jake's house. CDR's dock.
Kent, Ohio.
Atlantis.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty cool one.
Seaweed Baby's house.
Seaweed Mommy.
So Las Vegas, Reno, where if you win Las Vegas, you could probably go to Reno. That's probably
Why would you go? Yeah.
Cape Cod, Lake Tahoe, Daytona Beach.
I want Lake Placid.
Atlantic City, which I just didn't have the money to go to a week ago, and I almost got divorced because of it. Anaheim, Sedona? Is that a place?
Sedona.
Yeah. Lake Havasu.
That's good.
Havasu.
Park City, Utah. Palm Springs, California. Charleston, South Carolina. Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Bronson, Missouri. Hilton Head, South Carolina. Williamsburg, Virginia. Niagara Falls. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Orlando, Florida. And San Antonio, Texas. Those aren't bullshit things. That's not like he's like, you come to see the Deadites in Rhetoric. You can go to the Whistler Library later on. Pick up some Marvel movies and some Wu-Tang Clan CDs. But, yeah, so I think that's a fucking pretty big deal, right?
I would think so.
Yeah, like I would like to win any of those.
So
I'd like to
you
go to
got
any
to
of those.
buy some tickets.
Yeah,
It's a
Raven
fucking
Shadow. Let's go.
Actually, maybe Raven Shadow won't mind buying a ticket this time.
Yeah, listen. No, that's fucking
Raven
cool.
Shadow,
Yeah.
I will get you a ticket to the show.
All right, cool.
Just don't tell the Deadites.
I don't tell them.
Yeah.
They don't listen.
One of them does.
All right, Johnny, earmuffs.
Not that one.
No, this is exciting.
Sounds like Boracle.
Well, think about it. I mean, raffle, the odds, it's odds, right? So
It's what?
It's odds in a raffle.
Like the 2000? It's the odds?
No, but there's like odds involved, right? Like the more people.
Never tell me the odds.
Yeah,
Raven
don't.
Shadow.
I'm confused. I am confused. But like, depending.
Odds.
Depending how many people do it, the odds could be in your favor. You know what I mean? That's exciting. So Punch Farm, you could drive up from Pennsylvania?
Pennsyltucky.
Pensatani Phil, the fucking gopher. But anyway, you could drive up to Necronomicon and fly to wherever you want as long as one of these fucking places. That's fucking fun.
But how do they get home?
Well, maybe there's a contest in fucking San Antonio. Whatever fucking, I don't know. I can't think
Wait, are the tickets one way?
Well, it's not important. It's not important about how many ways it goes. All I'm saying is you get.
I don't know. You guys have made a big deal about me.
It's true. You go both ways, so.
I go all the ways.
Is it like 2 tickets one way or 1 ticket both ways?
Too bad MZ's not here. He's got
Yeah,
2 tickets to Paradise.
He got all fired up about that earlier.
Yeah, he hates any money. He gets fired up.
He wants to go to Vegas.
He does. He
Man, I
actually
get a
does.
boner just thinking about 2 tickets to Paradise. That was a good night.
That was a good night.
Yeah.
What, Montreal?
No.
That's exciting.
That was a good night too, but I don't really remember it.
And I'm going to be at Rocket Shock all fucking weekend, too.
That's amazing. Yeah, wow. Holy shit.
I don't believe
I
it.
have a big announcement under my belt, but not like I don't know. That's
Yeah, that might trump the.
don't say Trump.
That's a word we can't say. I think we all can be agreed on. We need
I'm
something
going to
different.
threaten to cut someone using that word.
Is that what it is? But no, I have no
I can't believe you threatened. That's why MZ's not here.
That's not
you
what that
fucking
means.
threatened him
No, that's
last
not what
week.
that means. It's
You-
fucking
no,
watch
you
the
threatened him.
NCW tapes.
You
No,
went-
no, I didn't.
Yeah, you
You
did.
are fucking outrageous. You are like fucking Donald Trump.
Raven Shadow went like this to
I
MZ
did
last
this.
week.
I did this.
No, I think you did that.
I did this.
You just put your hand inside your coat, Michael Corleone style, telling the baker to pretend he had a gun.
Allegedly. But no, I mean, you can drink with the chain gang. It's flowing.
No, don't do that.
I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go. Well, I'm gonna go like once. I'm gonna go on Sunday.
All right, after the show.
I won't go on Saturday.
Okay, thank you.
Don't go Sunday.
To chain gang or Rocket Show, I can't come.
Well,
Friday.
actually, on Saturday you have to be at the Deadite show, so you got to be.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
You got to be good.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be
No
awake.
more falling asleep under the stairs. Like that.
That was a weird night. That was. I'm left to my. I need a chaperone. If you win a ticket, you could. I'm looking for a Wrangler.
Triple H is the chaperone.
Yeah.
My favorite part of that whole night was Aries goes, all right, I'll bring him home. Where is he? I go, I sent him downstairs. And he goes to turn around and goes, you let him walk down the stairs? And Aries opens the door, totally afraid we were going to find you like broken like a rag doll at the bottom. And somehow you weren't even on the stairs. You had your hands on the wall and your feet on the wall. And you were like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. You're just kind of somehow hanging there. Like the stairs had moved on you.
Dun, 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 dun.
No, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna stay to the end.
Because people are coming to hang out with us right
Yeah,
now.
like Jakey Pouquin that time, he couldn't be bothered.
No, it's a different word. It's a different era now. It's a different. You were like fucking 2 weeks fucking too early there, Jakey Boo. I'm telling you, you were up here this week and fucking shit would have happened.
2 fingers.
2 fingers. I'm gonna say, let's not fucking, limit ourselves.
It's not low. You want more than 2?
I don't know. Is it for me? No, it's gonna be exciting. No, it'll be good. El Gore's there. I gotta fucking represent. I don't know what Wiley yelling.
Represent
at me.
who?
The free
Wiley
world.
told me on multiple occasions she was going to slap you this week.
Why?
I don't know. I was like, no, he's a nice man. Don't
I've been
slap him.
good.
You'll be happy. I watched The Godfather.
Did you? I was trying to work on getting
real people doing real things.
By the time you get it, the show will be over.
Yeah, I'm not sure when the show is. There's a lot of things
I thought
coming
you
up.
knew people.
Yeah.
Well,
None of them are clockmakers.
Yeah.
Real people doing real things. Yeah,
On their own time.
You'll have to pay to hear my review, I guess. But
Well, that's how all they all are.
yeah, they don't have
Are
me
they
on any free
wait,
ones.
are they paying you?
Who's next, Johnny?
Oh man. Cornelius says, I think of Serpico every time I see Raven Shadow.
Thank you, Cornelius. That's what I'm going for, dude.
Too cold, Serpico.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, let me see if I could find any topics. I don't know if anyone. I know Rocky loves Kraken.
Yes,
He
good.
says Kraken. I drank 2 bottles on vacation. Kraken is ambrosia, son.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's the one other than Jack Daniels. It is the only hard alcohol that I can drink, and I don't even I like it with ice, but I don't even need ice.
Not neat. That's what they call it.
Yeah, first part of Cult of Muscle last week, ice. Second part of Cult of Muscle, no ice. Feedback of Cult of Muscle, just right out of the bottle.
Yeah. I knew it. So it looks like there was a couple recommendations. Rocky says Stranger Things. There's been a lot of talk about it on Elm Street Kids. So.
Yeah, me and Wiley already did that.
And a lot of people have been talking about it. Not that.
Though we did hear from Patsy that I don't like Predator, so maybe that's worth talking about. Is Patsy here tonight? I'm mad at him.
No.
Yeah, he's probably not here because I'm mad at him.
Jethro says, could we talk about STDs? My junk is really hard. I even sculpted some of my parts because it resembles the Devil's Tower.
Wow.
I don't think it's much to discuss. I think you got it all figured out.
Yeah, and if they stop talking about it.
Rocky wants to discuss the airspeed velocity of an unladen African swallow.
He says that every time.
Yep. Oh, that was gross.
Sorry.
Let's see. Rocky says, what if I use my Rock and Shock cock ring?
Your Johnny cock ring? Get off
Get
murder
him
with that,
off.
I heard. It's cock ring. That'll get him off. Good one. I like that. See? I see what you did there.
Lost in Atlantis says, I'd love a trip to Kent, Ohio.
Ugh.
Ooh.
In the words of my other favorite Barbarian podcast, I get a room.
And I guess that's it. There's no topics.
All right, remember, children.
Yeah, no, that's it in the show.
I'm ready.
If anyone in the chat room does have anything that to toss out, something for us to discuss, please do. We will continue to just talk a bunch of bullshit anyways.
Yeah.
So, Raven Shadow, have you seen Stranger Things? I don't want to...
No, I'm not. I'm trying to do a thing now where I wrap up shows before I start something new.
Okay, what are you trying to wrap up then?
So now it's on my docket. I wrapped up Preacher, and then I got to do Daredevil.
Season 1 or 2?
Oh, two.
Okay.
I'm on, I think, 4 or 5. It's just about to go down.
Did you watch Jessica Jones?
I started to, and then got delayed. So I started, Purple Man was just starting to kind of run amok a little bit.
Purple Man got on my nerves.
Yeah, he got my nerves. Not Purple, but yeah, but then DD came out, so I'm probably going to backtrack. But no, once I wrap up Daredevil, I'm going to jump on Stranger Things.
So wait, Jessica Jones is before Daredevil 2?
2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got confused. I would have done that backwards.
Yep.
So
I don't think you need to. I mean, you might. I probably would want to wrap that up before Luke Cage starts.
I want to do a podcast with you and Sheetsy called the Marvel Podcast.
Okay.
And
The Marvel?
Marvel. Just go through all. Just
That's
go
an
through
original name.
What?
It's probably taken the Marvel podcast.
Yeah. Well, so what? What if I? Forget it. We're not doing it.
Fuck, I guess we're not.
It would have been the biggest thing. It would have been the
Forget
biggest fucking thing on the Grand Guignol Network.
It would have put the fucking network open, and we would have had a bus. We would have had a bus as a result.
It's true. We would have been the Grand Guignol.
How about the Marvel podcast? See what I did there about the alien Captain Marvel?
Mm-hmm.
All right, fuck it.
I like the ones from Marvel. I like mine better.
I'm just saying it's probably taken.
Yeah, well, there's 20 preacher casts, and those guys are still allegedly the best. So.
Ask them; they'll tell you.
Oh, Rocky has an interesting one. He says Adam West and Burt Ward doing an animated flick.
Yeah, I read that today.
Yeah,
and Julie Newmar. All the surviving cast.
Yeah, surviving cast. What do you think of that?
It'll be fun.
Is it going to be a 66 thing?
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
too much about it.
It's got to be. I mean, I can't imagine it's not.
I hope it's drawn like the Mike Allred covers.
Oh yeah.
To my knowledge,
Oh no, something bad's happening.
What the fuck? You having a baby? Is it kicking?
Johnny, get the sheets.
Get the sheets. Rib
ShamWow.
Shadow.
That's what it feels like, I'm having
You
a
have
baby.
to give him CPR. Administer CPR.
God damn. Can we call Monster Zero?
Shave your beard.
Shit. Damn it. Wait, which
Okay,
one
I'm
of
done.
us?
I'm done. I'm sorry.
Actually, I would have loved to see the Killing Joke done with Adam West.
you know, the end of the Killing Joke, I think, is much more obvious as an animated thing.
Oh, sound?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because somebody just stops.
Right.
Yeah, like, so it's not like a matter of that you have to be paying attention to color of text. So.
Yeah, right.
A little more on the nose.
First time Mike is hanging out.
What's up, sexy Mike?
Says,
FTM.
Late evening family had to help Pa David with some stuff, but wanted to check what's going on. We're just hanging out. First time Michael, if we're soliciting topics. So
we had a really bad review at the beginning of the show.
You know what? I think it was. We didn't really talk about the film, but I think it was an interesting discussion.
Raven Shadow's out.
All right. See you later, Raven Shadow.
Fuck you.
He doesn't want to talk about. I like to hurt people anymore.
Two down. 2 down. Fantasy show to go. Speaking of all the way back at episode 1 or 0, the same fucking thing happened to me the other day.
What's up?
So I went. We almost had to set the clock back to pooping my pants. Back to 0.
Oh boy!
All right, but I made it into the bathroom real close, almost hitting the top of my pants close. Right?
Jesus Christ! Dude.
Okay, so I made it. I was done. No toilet paper. So luckily no one came in this time, but I was thinking episode 0. That was the story I told. I crawled under for one booth. I didn't go through because I didn't want to put my pants up because I didn't want to get my pants dirty, right? So I with my pants down around my ankles, I crawled from one bathroom stall to another. And luckily there was toilet paper in that one. It was
All
close.
I see like a fucking like an army guy crawling underneath.
That's how it was. That's how it was.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, literally it was bad. It was one of those incidences where I was just walking through the store with a clipboard, pretending I was doing things, and then all of a sudden, whoa! Ran to the bathroom, no toilet paper, just like episode 0.
Unbelievable, dude.
It was like a milestone shit.
Was it like the Stop and Shop one?
No.
Did you flood the fucking bathroom?
No.
Oh, Walmart.
Your autobiography or your journal or whatever, it should
My
be
live journal.
Yeah, your live journal. It should be something about shitting, like shit or get off the pot or
buy the shitty book.
I do I do shit a lot, but I think that's probably not the thing. I bet you that there's something that I hate more that happens to me more. So that might be more.
What's up?
I don't know. I'm not sure what it is.
Oh.
I found out recently I was Spanish, so.
That's true. You are.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega says, "What kind of shirt are you wearing, Dynamo?"
My Outside the Cinema shirt.
Which one is that?
This death metal one here.
Okay. Sons of New England Darkness.
Yep.
That's the one. And you can they got a bunch of shirts for sale, $14. I don't remember the website, but I'm sure you could find it pretty easily. They have some pretty cool shirts.
You think it's like OTC.com?
No.
Oh. That'd be easy.
It would be. But I'm sure a URL with 3 letters is long gone.
Yeah. For a remainder of the show, we're just going to play Creepy Girls Monster Zero imitation over and over again.
Is that a thing?
It's pretty brilliant.
Did you see it?
No. Oh, I think I know what it is. I didn't see it. Is that when she's drawn?
Yeah.
I didn't.
I wanted to be behind mine more because I didn't want to sound like a bad sport, but I had white hair and I had a hamburger on my head. I'm not sure.
I think MZ had red hair, so it's not really accurate.
Oh, that's fair. But he had the right haircut anyway. I don't have a hamburger hat.
Lance Beef Pile's hanging out, and he says, Pupus Maximus, the story of Dynamo.
Good.
It's good.
I'll take it.
Lawson Atlanta says, shit if you can make it to the pot.
That's pretty good.
It's close.
That's good. Or it could be like filling your pants now.
Yeah, shit. Okay, off the stage or something like that.
I've never shit my pants on stage.
October 15th at the Cove Music Hall.
If someone wants to name Mars's memoir or autobiography, please do.
I've peed my pants a lot of times up on stage, though.
Awesome.
Because when I leave, even if I'm not singing, I've learned it stresses Tiny out. And he starts getting nervous and sending people to to find me. Like, I think he's afraid I just wandered away.
First time Michael says Crackle has Rec 1, 2, and 3 streaming. So Crackle.com. That's where we watched one of the Dead Rising flick that we didn't like.
All right.
So Crackle's got some stuff streaming.
That's 3 much better movies.
Oh, Lance Beefpile's got a good one.
What?
For Whom the Bowels Toll.
Yeah, there it is.
That might be the winner.
There it is.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Insert sound effects here. I mean, I'm not going to do it.
That's all right. It's okay, guys. I just almost beat cancer. Have 2 podcasts in a band that's real popular, but you can just shit in my pants is all I have for my autobiography. It's okay.
First time Mike says, the G.I. Joe is swimming in the water. Or my G.I. Joe swimming in the water.
I don't know what that means. I don't eat G.I. Joes.
Then a big brown shark came.
Anymore.
I think it's a Eddie Murphy reference.
No.
I think so, yeah.
I ate all my G.I. Joes and Star Wars figures, so that's bad.
Why would you eat? That always fucking blew me away. Like the kids who ate paste and ate shit.
Or dirt.
Yeah, like.
What did you eat?
Man, you don't have to eat food.
Macaronis.
Oh, Lost in Atlantis has a good one.
What?
Honey, I shit my pants. It's pretty good.
It's a cornerstone of good marriage.
So we could get into some feedback now, and then
Sure.
if people have topics or just questions.
Oh, man, I'd love to go home right now.
You want to go home right now?
Well, I'll do this little feedback thing, but I've been up for like 48 hours. It's bad.
Why?
Get some food.
Because I don't want to talk about it. No, I'll talk about it. I keep having
No, I'll talk about
I
it.
keep having fucking weird nightmares.
About MZ.
No, like Monday and Sunday I had crazy nightmares, and now I've been having a hard time going back to sleep. Like really uncomfortable, unsettling nightmares.
Tell us about one of them.
I can't.
Yeah, man.
About a werewolf?
They're not about, no, like, because I would fucking beat a werewolf in one of my dreams. Like,
You'd beat off a werewolf.
yeah, it's about like real life stuff.
That's stupid.
I don't know.
Mortgage.
Yeah, losing your house. Losing your house is scary. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, but your brain doesn't work that way. Your brain's not gonna like. It'll be like some like subconscious.
I am telling you,
manifestation.
Like Cthulhu
It's
shows
not.
up.
It doesn't have
dream-
anything to do with losing my house. But
You
I'm
dream
telling you,
about some dude coming and taking your house.
what I am dreaming about is like directly on the nose of what I am worried about. So
Well, just say it.
I'm not doing that.
Oh, well, all right, it's good for a radio
All right,
show.
yeah.
Sorry, it's bad. It's scary. It's the things that scare me in real life.
Bears.
Yeah. I prefer a more feminine man, but I wouldn't throw a bear out of bed.
Cornelius has a pretty good suggestion. Above the rim.
Oh.
Where you get the connotation.
Anyone who knows me knows that I've sometimes broke that barrier.
How about
Yes.
rim jobber?
Rocky says metal out your ass.
It's true.
Rocky says sig butts and Play-Doh. That would be yours, Raven Shadow.
Well, yeah, I'm working on it. I could be. Yeah. Trying. I'm gonna write a book.
Memoir.
What's that?
That makes it sound better.
Memoir.
Yeah.
What else? A tome?
Oh, Jakey Poo's hanging out.
Oh,
Hey.
Stu.
He says MZ is MIA.
No, I'm right here. It's me, Monster Zero.
Yeah.
Arriva Dirt, douchebags.
He was here for most of Outside the Cinema, and then he had an emergency that he needed to attend to. He is fine, nothing to worry about, but he had to go take care of something. So it's personal stuff, not my business to say, but he is fine. So just let everyone know. No need to worry. Let's get some feedback. So let's go ahead and since we just heard from him in the chat room, why don't we hear from first time Michael?
What's up, Trick or Treat family? This is first time Mike with
Yeah.
my review of The Mind's Eye.
Oh, nice.
Like The Green Room, I really, really enjoyed The Mind's Eye. Although they're two totally different movies. While the Green Room is pretty realistic, The Mind's Eye is just a great throwback to the psychic films of the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, and the 90s. It's a beautiful looking film. You could easily have seen this one, picked it up off the video shelves back in the early 90s. A lot of the color scheme looked like I thought of later Empire movies like From Beyond and Reanimator. And telekinetic work was simply amazing. Better than I've seen a lot of big budgeted movies. Even recently with the computer generation, it was just a beautiful job all around. Graham Skipper and Lauren Ashley Carter are great as the leads, and John Spiridakos is his slide from controlled doctor to insane quasi supervillain is pretty fun. I can see where some people might get a little disturbed by that, but I enjoyed the whole Devil May Care almost comic book aspect of the movie. Very much like Scanners. The cast was fun. Larry Fessenden was fun too, as always. And some of the stuff was a little surprise. But I enjoyed the movie. It's a treat beyond measure. This one, if it comes out on DVD, I will get a DVD or Blu-ray. The Blu-ray would be awesome on this. Joe, Jarrett, and everybody else did a great job on The Mind's Eye. Also, with the wrestling tonight, one of my favorite matches.
Oh, nice.
Is when in my hometown Milwaukee. It was in the 80s. I can't remember the exact year, but I saw the last time that Andre the Giant was in Milwaukee.
Wow.
And he fought Big John Studd with Bobby the Brain Heenan and Andre's Corner. That was one of my favorite matches ever. What is, if you guys are, I know some of you guys are big wrestling fans, what is your favorite match that you've seen? Any kind, or even if it was when you guys were in. Thanks a lot, all. Sorry about the stuttering today. It's just been one of those days. And hello to everybody. Have a good time and good night. Bye.
Oh man, Michael, seriously, like you bring the thunder, man.
Thunder.
That was an amazing message. I didn't. If you stuttered, I didn't even notice.
Didn't notice at all.
Love what you bring to the show, my friend. Thank you so much.
I stuttered through 2 podcasts. Sorry.
2?
No, I mean like 2 every week.
Cracking.
So thank you for that. Let's before we get to the question, I do want to just quickly Mind's Eye. I'm very, very pleased that you liked it because I know you were looking forward to it. That's right down your alley. I'm super excited that you loved it, and I'm sure that Blinkhorn will love to hear your thoughts on it as well. So very cool. Thank you for letting us know what you thought. If we hear anything about a Blu-ray DVD, we'll be sure to pass that along as well, because I'm sure a lot of us are going to want to grab that on Blu-ray. And also that wrestling match, man. Andre the Giant versus Big John Studd.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Andre is a heel.
Yeah, I would have been heel on. Well, unless it was no, it would have been with WWE, right?
Right.
Or WWF. Yeah, okay.
Big John Studd for a brief amount of time when Andre was heel. Like after the Hogan thing, they brought Studd in to invert that feud as a babyface.
Yeah.
I think he won or almost won a Royal Rumble, but I have to go back and check that.
As to his question, favorite matches live. Oh, Jesus. We've seen a lot, Dynamo.
Yeah.
Raven Shadow, do you have any come to mind?
Yeah, no, and you know, there's this time when you know, all of us went to shows all the time.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, in terms of overall the moment and saying like I was there, dude, was the night Raw was a.
I think we might have the same one. Go
It
ahead.
might be was a taped Raw.
Yes.
That the outcome was spoiled on WCW.
Yes, because it was the dog show.
The dog,
right?
yeah, right. But it was the night that Mick Foley won the belt.
Yeah.
In beautiful Necronomicon, Massachusetts.
That's right.
And the bonus for me was it was the first and only time that the full DX was on a stage together.
That's true because they came out to help Foley.
They helped, but Shawn was there. We didn't know what happened backstage until we actually watched Raw the following day, and there was some machinations. But DX involvement, and Mick Foley won the belt, and that's fucking. And it's actually a fucking great hardcore match with Al Snow and Road Dogg, I think.
Oh yeah. It went all over the Centrum, DCU, whatever.
And it spilled out in the door where you can smoke into the other street.
Oh, you love that.
It was awesome. But no, Mick Foley winning the belt. What the fuck?
So, and it was the first time he won the belt.
Correct.
Against The Rock.
It's The Rock, right?
And it was completely unexpected.
Yeah.
I remember I was there with Psycho Patrick and also with King Fausto. The three of us were there. And when Mick Foley won the belt, we all like embraced and hugged each other. And we're like jumping up and down. Like, I don't remember being at a show where I saw something happen that was so unexpected. Actually, it makes me think of another one, so I actually got another one in mind. But
cool.
That one was probably one of the most memorable matches. It wasn't the best match I ever saw live.
No, exactly.
But,
I'm going for like moment, like I was there. And,
exactly.
and
that was a moment in wrestling history because, like you said, it was spoiled on WCW. They were like, oh, yeah, like Raw's pre-taped. This is what happens. Mick Foley wins the belt, blah, 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 blah.
And the famous line is, like that guy ever put anybody in a seat.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the following, like, week, it was all like Mick Foley put my ass in the seat signs and shit like that.
Well, and that may have been when the Foley is God stuff started to start, right?
It could be. It could
Ben
be.
Foley is good, all that. So, very interesting. It definitely one of my best memories. I would say, now that you mention that, another memorable match that had an unexpected outcome was I got to go, this is relevant because I got to go see it with Bill by Force, but we went to go see NXT a few months ago in Lowell, Massachusetts, and it was Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor, who was the NXT champion at the time. This is non-televised. This is a house show essentially, and Samoa Joe beat Finn Balor for the title.
Sure.
It was totally unexpected. Everyone in the room fucking flipped out because that doesn't happen on house shows, right? So totally unexpected, but super awesome. That was just a quick one. Let me just name another one. This may not be the best match that I've ever seen, but it was the first one that came to mind. And it was in Chikara. Mars and I were there in Nashua, New Hampshire. It was our second Chikara live show ever. I want to say it was 2009. And we saw Mike Quackenbush and Jigsaw versus Claudio Castagnoli and Bryan Danielson. Daniel Bryan and Cesaro.
What a fucking match.
So those two who ended up becoming huge stars in WWE, and versus Jigsaw and Quackenbush, and it was a fucking classic, right?
Yep.
20 minutes, amazing holds, amazing wrestling, chain wrestling, some great impact moves, and you even got to see Daniel Bryan get pissed at Jigsaw and
it seemed like you beat him up for real.
Yeah, exactly. So that would probably be one of the best matches that I've seen, and especially with the talent, it was really cool. And that was Daniel Bryan's farewell tour, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it was one of the last times that we got to see him on the Indies, if not the last time.
Yeah.
So
we saw him a couple Ring of Honor shows in a row, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's right.
So I actually have one in mind right away, but I'm gonna follow suit with everybody else and do two. This isn't the best match I've ever seen, but it happened in this like VFW hall in Pennsylvania, and it was during one of my favorite feuds ever. But it wasn't between two wrestlers; it was between two promotions.
You know what you're going to say.
And CZW, the hardcore promotion, challenged my favorite promotion, Ring of Honor, to their marquee match, the Cage of Death, which is this wild, Big Japan style hardcore match. And what was so memorable about this, I don't remember too much about the match. I remember or the show. I remember it was a little bit overbooked on the Ring of Honor side. But why it was so memorable is that there were bleachers, right? So the floor they just sold like normal, but they sold one side of the bleachers to Ring of Honor fans and the other side of the bleachers to CZW fans. So it was like a soccer match. Like there was like opposing fans there. But I think the other one that I'm going to mention has two people involved that you are. It's funny how things change, right? I had always been obsessed with, and YouTube wasn't what it was, like just reading about this like technical wizard named Mike Quackenbush, right? And we were, for some reason, we were going to all the Ring of Honor shows, but we weren't going to this one. And I was really upset because the main event was supposed to be Falls Count Anywhere 6-man match between this faction, the No Remorse Corps, and Austin Aries faction of guys, which featured M-Dog Matt Cross and this guy Stevens. I can't remember his first name. And Delirious was involved in it somehow, and Austin Aries, and it was just this big 4-way awesome fracas that went all over the building, or promised to go all over the building, and it did. But they announced the day before, right? I don't know if somebody got canceled or whatever else, that my favorite wrestler at the time, and probably my favorite wrestler ever, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, who most of you might know as Daniel Bryan, was going to fight the debuting Mike Quackenbush in a semi-main event. So we found out on the, either the day before or the day of the show. It must have been the day before. So we got our work covered, and me and my special lady friend drove out. And anybody that's been to Ring of Honor remember the backstage guy, Sid. And here's what brings things full corner to something we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Sid, we didn't have tickets, and it was sold out. That was another thing. We were going to a sold-out show to try to get tickets, right? Sid saw my special lady friend, right? And he would play a game with her when we would get tickets. And we usually bought tickets online, and he would give us better tickets. Well, we didn't even have tickets. He came back this time and goes, I don't remember if he knew her name or not, but he was like, Dynamo special lady friend. Mm-hmm. He was like, who sings 2 Tickets to Paradise? And she went Eddie Money.
Don't
right?
say don't say it around MZ.
Yeah, and he goes, well, here's 2 tickets to second row right by the guardrail.
Yeah.
So I got to watch who would become a dear friend of mine, Mike Quackenbush, debut in Ring of Honor, which was a really big thing at the time, right? Fight Daniel Bryan in a match that would bore 90% of the normal wrestling audience and a portion of the people that are here now, but in a real live catch can, reversal, the old human chess match, wrestling match. And the main event was real good too. So that was a real special time.
That shit I liked. If that was the portion, I can get behind that.
Yeah, it was a really Ring of Honor at that time. I highly recommend it to anyone who was looking for good wrestling because it wasn't like one style. Like if they did hardcore, they fucking did it. If they did scientific wrestling, and pretty much your whole roster that you're loving on the WWF right now is from Ring of Honor. I won't say that that wrestling was better, but I will say consistently, if you grab any Ring of Honor show from 2005 to 2011 off the shelf, odds are it's going to be great from top to bottom. So, but that was a good show, though.
Yeah.
That was a good question.
One other one, this isn't necessary. I don't remember much about the match, but we did get to see Kota Ibushi's first appearance in America.
Fighting Davey Richards.
That's right. Okay, that was a great match, yeah.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite wrestling venue, actually. That was at BC, I think.
Boston College, I believe, yeah. And what was the other one? For me, seeing... it was not Kaientai, but it was Michinoku Pro when we got to see Great Sasuke, Dick Togo, and Jinsei Shinsake. Seeing those three, because I emulated a lot of what those guys. Well, at least I tried to emulate what a lot of those guys did, and it was just really awesome to see them live. We were in the front row for that.
Yep.
And up
we
front,
get to hear Deadites music played in.
Yeah, for that
the
show.
ECW arena, which is fucking outrageous, right?
Yeah. We have heard the Deadites music a couple times in the ECW arena because we did theme songs for a bunch of wrestlers in Chikara. So some pretty cool stuff. I mean, we have a pretty good history with wrestling in a lot of different ways, but I could go on and on. We literally could.
I'd love to have Quack on. It's been since episode 7 or something.
5,
I'd love to have Quack on again. He's such a cool dude.
How about seeing the dark match at a fully loaded pay-per-view, I think, in Rhode Island, where it was Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy, yeah.
Oh, wow. I don't remember that. Was that the one where Ken Shamrock fought The Undertaker and he did an amazing reversal off the chokeslam?
Oh, we were up. We had high seats.
Yeah.
We were
it was a
way
pay-per-view, so it was
yeah.
that because I remember that very distinctly.
But it was before Angle made. I think either made their debuts, and I think they were kind of getting booed out of the. At one point.
I actually remember that. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
There was a bunch of us. Tron was there. I mean, it was like there might have been 7 of us.
Goldust fought the Blue Meanie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Psycho Patrick, Astro Boy.
Yep. Lance Beefile says, I did run into Simon Gotch at Costco last week.
Was that the...
That's awesome.
Was that the King of Trios that I made an ass out of myself to not Kota Ibushi, Akira Tozawa?
Was he on that one? No, I think that was
the year before.
That wasn't a King of Trios. I think it was.
He was definitely on King of Trios.
Chikarasaurus Rex.
No, I didn't go to Chikarasaurus Rex.
You didn't?
No, he was on the King of Trios. It was like him and two Dragon Gate guys I never heard of before. Remember they had the weird thing where they lost to Grananiwa's league there. What was him and Dolphins Federation there, not
Super
Big
Dolphin?
Japan.
Yeah, Super Dolphin. It was Osaka Pro.
Osaka Pro. They lost to that team.
That team.
Yeah, and it was really controversial count thing.
I don't remember who he teamed with, but
Yeah.
I remember the instance of.
Yeah.
Of,
I walked up to Akira and I was like, I really like this Akira Tozawa guy. Should I go try to talk to him, Mike? He's like, yeah, go say hi. He doesn't talk very much English though.
No.
So I went, all right, I'm gonna, and I did that fucking asshole American thing where I'm like, he put out his hand. I said, thank you, Origato, Akira, for coming to the United States. I really enjoy your work in your matches. And was doing that slow thing, and he's like, oh yeah, thanks, Mars, right?
I do remember that.
Yeah, and I'm like, what? And I just looked around, and Quack is giving the Quack smile.
Wait, one of my other favorites. I got to mention this.
No.
Yes,
no,
you
no.
know exactly what I'm going to mention.
No.
But so
I almost did a run-in.
Mars almost got called into a match. It was at a Chikara show in Connecticut, and it was it was Icarus, and he teamed up.
Icarus, Chuck Taylor, and Gargano.
Okay, yeah, that's right. It was Johnny Gargano, Chuck Taylor, and Icarus versus it was Frightmare, Hallowicked, and
was it Delirious?
No, it was 2-on-2.
Oh.
And they were gonna bring the
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
the fake Hallowicked into the ring.
Yeah.
And then
Fist was gonna bring me in.
and then Fist was gonna bring Mars in, and you and Icarus were like had this feud for like years.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
understand, but Icarus is he's a wrestler in Chikara, and so he's like, I can't remember how it came up, but he's like you look like a serial killer.
And he goes, you look like a serial killer I keep in my basement. And I said, you keep serial killers in your basement? And he just stopped, and Ledger goes, idiot. And he came over, and he was fucking laid into me.
One of Icarus's things is he would find one person in the audience and fucking lay into them during an entrance. Every single time he'd come to the ring, he would lay into someone, and it just happened to be Mars.
If I was there, it was pretty much me. So if you go back and watch one of those things, like...
Oh, no, I have the video.
Yeah, but I mean, on different shows, like after that precedent was set, he did not like the cut of my jib after that. And he came up to me every single time. One time in Philadelphia, I was in the second row, and he stood on the guardrail and still yelled at me.
Yeah. So there is I forget how it happened, but they were trying to get like the fake Hallowicked to come in the ring, and they're like, "We need a third person. Get the serial killer. Get him." They're like trying to like get Mars in the ring.
That'd have been awesome.
Bryce stopped the match at one point. He's like, "People of Connecticut, that guy's not a serial killer. He's a very nice man."
Oh shit! Jakey Poo says, "Quick, someone asked him another wrestling question," and then he says, "This is like watching that barbershop scene in Coming to America."
You must be out your goddamn mind. Well, how about the time that we
Joe Frazier,
when Johnny we met Taco Funaki?
Oh yeah, I actually told that story when I went to SmackDown last month, and I was telling that story to my buddy that I went with,
and they had worse seats than we did.
Yeah, they were in the worst seats you could possibly get, but they were just hanging out there watching the show.
Right.
Because I think it was right when they got called to WWE.
Yeah, they were in the Bruins, get tickets to the Bruins seats.
Yeah.
That you could afford.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Raven Shadow and I were like, I'm like Raven Shadow, holy shit, that's Taka Michinoku. And at the time, he was my favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
And he was also with Sho Funaki, who I fucking love too, because we watched their Michinoku Pro stuff all the time. Like, we were tape trading and buying tapes from High Spots and importing tapes and just trying to watch as much. Well, at least me, I loved Michinoku Pro. Yeah. And so when I saw fucking Taka Michinoku, and I was like freaking out, I'm like, we got to go talk to him.
Yeah.
And so Raven Shadow came with me. And I think we had like a piece of paper that we tore off of something.
Yeah, I had it. I had it hanging up in a couple previous living houses. I still have it somewhere. Yeah, did not speak English very well.
No, we weren't sure. We went up and we kind of did the Akira Tozawa Dynamo thing, which I feel like such a stupid American. I'm like, hello, You know, like I don't know how to talk to someone who doesn't
This is a
understand.
chair, like talking to Crocodile Dundee. Like
Yeah.
it's like,
oh, it's a knife.
sorry, Dane.
That's for you, Dane.
Sorry, Dane. It wasn't about that. It wasn't about you. Okay. But they were awesome. We shook their hand and they were cool. They were.
Got to meet Taka Michinoko, Sho Funaki. Got autographs from both or just Sho? I can't remember.
I think
we got both.
I think both.
Okay. And we just talked to him real quick. I said, I'm a big fan, love your work.
Yep.
That's all I really remember.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think, was that also the night we got on TV from having the Edge and Christian signs?
Oh, I think so. Was it 5 seconds is not enough or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. Oh, 10 seconds is not enough.
Yeah. And what a bunch of fucking marks we are. Jesus Christ, we're outing ourselves.
You know who doesn't speak English very good at all?
Jushin Thunder Liger.
No, not real good. Me and Tiny did that thing where we just said we went over and did the oregano, and
Yeah.
either Tiny or I said, we just want you to know that you're the reason we do what we do.
Yeah.
Right? And you know, Tiny wasn't just talking about, like, wrestling stuff. Like, he meant, like, wearing the mask even. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the overall
You know, and he
aesthetic.
grabbed us and hugged us and went, "Thank you! Thank you!"
And you also got to meet Misawa, right?
Yep.
I didn't go to that. Oh, I was at the
No,
show.
you were at it with me, yeah.
But I didn't go meet
Well, because you thought I was getting ejected from the building because Sid came over and got me, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Like, because I didn't even try because I got
Yeah.
into that fight with the guy who was swearing in front of those kids.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was hopped up on cold medicine, so I was getting real, you know. I had a screaming match that was very quickly escalating to a fist fight. And then that dude, Sid, who I was talking about, came over and got me. And the line was done, and he brought me over to meet Misawa because he knew that I followed Ring of Honor a lot of different places. And that was not as, like, thank you very much, Misawa. And then he signed my poster, which is still up on the thing. Both
well, he didn't unfortunately passed away not too long after that.
Well, that was a few years. Like,
well, yeah, I mean like a
Yeah.
year or two, yeah.
yeah, but there's also Nicolas Cage was at that show because he was
Oh yeah,
almost
for
in,
the wrestler.
Yeah, he was almost did the
He was almost
the wrestler in the wrestler.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
almost the Mickey Rourke character?
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
It was originally supposed to be him, and there was a lot of buzz about him being there because he was originally going to be play that role, Randy the Ram.
We're such fucking assholes. Early phone GPS, somebody put it in their GPS, but they put driving directions. So it took us 45 minutes to walk 2 minutes because we walked all out of the way, and like that was a good time though.
Walked on the highway.
It was in that building across from MSG.
Oh yeah. It was the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Yeah, the upstairs room though.
Yeah. I always get them
where
confused.
the first Monday Night Raw was.
Yes, that's right.
That was a good time.
And we once again, we could keep going, so we got to end this soon. But we also got to see Ring of Honor versus New Japan. So we got to see Kevin Steen, a.k.a. Kevin Owens, versus Shinsuke Nakamura,
right?
Which was a pretty awesome match. We got to see Tanahashi. Okada was there too, right?
Yep.
And
Okada was in the main event against AJ Styles and
That's
Michael
right,
Elgin.
Yeah. But really awesome to see those guys because they don't come around here very often. So
Ring of Honor got us to see a lot of fucking cool. That's how we saw.
Oh, yeah.
That's how we saw Hollow Wicked and Frightmare, and I mean not Frightmare, but Hollow Wicked and Jigsaw, and like
was
all
it
those
Ring
guys
of
for
Honor?
us.
Because I remember when we went to Dragon Gate USA, they had a match.
That was a fucking unreal match.
Yeah.
But
that Dragon
was,
Gate USA show was great.
Oh yeah, that was we saw the first Dragon Gate USA show.
That was the first time we had ever been to the ECW arena. Right?
That opening match with what's his fucking name? He was the champion. He just had a great match recently against Shingo. I can't remember his name, but he fought B&B Hulk Mars.
I'm not sure.
I can't remember his name. That's awful. He's real great though. It was a great opening match. That Chikara thing was like cemented everything.
Yeah, because we saw Hollow Wicked, Jigsaw, Fire Ant. I think we're a few of the guys in it. Maybe the Syrian Portal, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. So we could go on and on about this, but I know not everyone loves wrestling, but it's fun to talk about it. So
sure. I saw Ric Flair fight Terry Funk.
Jakey Poo, Yamato.
Nice, thank you. I saw Ric Flair fight Terry Funk at the Worcester Auditorium.
Oh yeah,
It's pretty fucking cool.
Remember, your dad didn't know where.
Yeah, my dad was a fucking dick.
Yeah, you wanted to go see.
Thank
Dusty
God for
Rhodes?
my mean Uncle Keith that took me to those shows. I never got to see the Dusty era ones, but I saw 2 shows, the late WCW era. One was at the Odd, and one was at the Centrum. Yeah, fucking Dusty Rhodes versus Tully Blanchard. Main event, and I'll never forget this my whole life. Like, I'm watching it, and I'm like, Dusty comes on and says, "In Worcester, Massachusetts."
Whoosha.
And he had like 2 African American women with him, and he was wearing like a fur coat.
Nice.
Like they were probably women of the night.
Fair.
And he's like, "Worcester, Massachusetts, Tully Blanchard. I'm gonna do what I should have done all along." And I got chills. I turn around and goes, "Well, Dad, where's Worcester?" And he's like, "It was very far."
What a dick.
Yeah, total dick move. When you see him at the on the 15th, go up and tell him that's a dick move, and he'll pretend he doesn't remember what you mean.
Oh man. All right, so we got a couple from Jakey Poo.
Nice.
Let me play one. This is unfortunately for MZ. He's not here.
I'm here. I'm Monster Zero. I'll channel it.
All right, so here is from Jakey Poo.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "Dear God, no!"
I didn't know where that was going.
That was awesome.
Was that it was a scene from Broadcast News, I believe?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's a classic scene. Well, that was fucking awesome, Jakey.
Was it Broadcast News?
I'm sorry, not Broadcast News.
There's a comedy, I think.
Yeah.
Network?
Network, yes. Sorry. I don't know why I thought of Broadcast News. But yeah, Network.
Yeah.
I actually recently watched that. I would say like 2 years ago.
Was that Network?
I'll look it up. We have this amazing thing called the internet. Maybe,
No, I mean that was the movie that you're thinking, but I'm not sure if that was from it.
Yeah, okay, so Jakey says it was from Network. Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Bombaleo.
So there it is. I actually saw that, I would say, about 2 years ago, and I'd never seen it, and it's quite
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen it either. I just know that scene, but I want to.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome.
That's pretty good.
All right, why don't we go to... Let's hear from Cornelius.
Ooh.
Let's see what Cornelius has to say. And you gonna play? All right, hold on. Looks like we're having a little issue with SpeakPipe. Let me refresh it real quick, and then let me try it again.
Hey guys, this is
There we
Cornelius
go.
Burrows.
Hey, buddy.
This past weekend, I was able to watch a lot of stuff. A couple weeks ago, I ended up getting the I saw The Devil on Blu-ray. It said it was an unrated cut, but it's to my memory, it's pretty much the same cut that I saw from Netflix. But it has like a behind-the-scenes extra feature on it that's like a half hour. But the sound and picture quality was a lot better, watching it on Blu-ray compared to streaming it through my PS3. I really enjoyed that movie, and it was good to watch it again. Since you all did the whaling last week, somebody mentioned The Yellow Sea. I ended up watching that, and I really enjoyed that movie. That was completely off my radar. It was a lot of knife fighting, real bloody. I was kind of amazed by it, but it was a real good story. I saw Hardcore Henry because El Goro talked about it last week on the show, and I think Stephanie Wiley told me that it was worth watching a couple weeks ago, and I really enjoyed that. It was that was an amazing little story. I was, it was entertaining through the whole film. I really enjoyed it. I also have been watching the show Vice Principals. To me, it's like a real funny-ass show. It's on HBO. I kind of feel bad. Some of the stuff that happens in that series, I kind of feel bad that I'm watching and laughing at it, but overall, it's a good show. If anybody hadn't seen Eastbound and Down, that's one of my favorite comedies. Is Danny McBride that stars in it, and he's just like Vice Principals. He's in both of those series, but he's kind of over the top with a lot of stuff and real funny. And then Monday afternoon, I sat down and watched Baskin. That was an insane movie, and I kind of hope that I'll see something else like that out of Turkey. But Slagoff had mentioned it to me that you all had seen it or talked about it before on the show, and I saw it and was losing my mind. If I ever go anywhere and see a bunch of frogs, I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to check out right there and go home.
That's right.
I'm not going to do any investigating or anything.
Don't do it.
But you all have a good week, and I appreciate the show. I love the show. Thanks. Bye. This is Cornelius Rose. Bye.
Thanks, bud.
He's the best dude.
That was a pretty awesome rundown right there. A lot of stuff to cover. I'm very curious to see Yellow Sea, especially after checking out The Wailing. Really, really fucking love that movie, so I want to see the director's other work. And Hardcore Henry's definitely on my radar. I just haven't had time to watch it. And Baskin, obviously, I love seeing so many people talk about it because it's on Netflix now, very accessible, and such a cool movie. We reviewed that a couple of months ago now. I'll have to look up and find out what episode, so if people want to go back and listen. But yeah, very cool. I'm glad people are catching that now. You guys have any comments?
I definitely want to see Vice Principals, but I was a huge fan about Eastbound and Down.
Oh, yeah.
Even just if you can do like a search for I think season 2 when he's in Kenny Powers, the washed up, kind of like Josh Beckett. But
no one's going to get that.
Yeah, well, if you're from the New England area.
Right.
Or in Diamondbacks.
Baseball fans.
Baseball fans. But
he was not on the Diamondbacks. He was on the Dodgers.
That's what I meant.
Is he on the Phillies?
He was on the Dodgers. He was also on the Marlins.
Yes, the Marlins.
Marlins.
But no, there's a scene where he's playing in this Mexican league, and basically he comes out to the Hulk Hogan theme song. He ties it in. And
you mean Papelbon?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Who, me?
No, that's what I said.
Oh, wearing an American flag. It's completely outrageous, and he's doing crotch chops to the crowd. It's outstanding. Wrestling.
All right. Baskin, we reviewed on episode 193. Baskin, 31 Flavors of Hell. So if you want to get your fix of that, go ahead and check that out. And that was a good episode. I think we spoke to Joe Bigas and also with Mickey Keating on that episode. So that's the episode that keeps giving because we talk about Mind's Eye, we talk about Darling, talk about Carnage Park. So that was a good episode. Cornelius had a little follow-up. Let me just go ahead and play this. It's real short. I don't know if it's a follow-up or not, but.
Oh, yeah. And even though you suggested I watched Baskin Slagoff, there's still a pumpkin bun with your name on it. Good night, sir.
Oh, my God.
All right. Well, I figured might as well follow up with some Slagoff, right? Since he just got called out there.
Yep.
So here's from Slagoff.
What's up, guys? I don't know if I'm getting this in on time, but I'm stuck here in the parking lot. There's a fucking Chuck E. Cheese and a Winn-Dixie. My daughter had a flat tonight.
Oh man.
I didn't have my jack. Couldn't change it properly. I was fucking pissed. Had to call the fucking insurance guys. They came out. Guy had a proper jack, and I finished the job, and he was like, "You don't have to." I'm like, "No, man, this is fucking bullshit." Had this hydraulic jack. Well, my wife took it out of the van, left it in the fucking shed, and we have the shitty factory jack that they give you that you can't, it's garbage. Anyway, regardless, I've been listening live the whole time in my ears as I'm sweating, fucking covered in fucking grease and whatever now. They're heading home. I put the donut on her car and whatever, but regardless, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the art.
I fucking loved it.
I should have gotten it to you sooner.
Oh yeah, bro.
It's great. It's incredible, bro.
And Mick, I hope you really fucking dig the Mad Man parts. That was
I love
a
it.
lot of fun working on that, and the Swamp Thing, of course. But
My special lady friend
I don't
makes
know, I
fun
hope
of
you
me
guys
for
like
holding
it.
those and staring at them all day.
The support's been overwhelming right now. I cannot believe. I honestly, the love that I felt from you guys and everyone that's been supporting me with this endeavor that I'm on, it's climbing. It's kind of crazy. I don't even know what to say, but I love you guys and fucking love the show. And Mick,
Yeah, buddy.
that whole shitting debacle.
Yeah.
All right, I've been there, brother.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've gotten to the toilet bowl in a public situation, and there's no fucking toilet paper.
It's the worst, right?
Sorry, sometimes you gotta sacrifice the fucking underwear you're wearing, dude.
Never.
And you gotta take them off, and you gotta fucking use them and then chuck them up in the fucking ceiling somewhere, bro.
The problem is some days I don't got the underwear on. It's like,
Fucking bastards doing that to people. I hate that shit.
you know who it was?
Love, light, and just a sprinkle of darkness. Oh, here comes a drunk fucking human. Oh, shit.
Raven Chat?
Sorry, I
Hey.
gotta-
I'm not there.
They got a villain. Talk to you later.
See you, bub.
You know who was responsible for that, by the way?
Who?
Sing Fucking Soon.
No.
I called him and he's like, I go, Sing Soon, there's no fucking toilet paper in the bathroom you're responsible for. And he said, I know, I didn't put no one in. And I said, you're supposed to. He didn't care. He didn't care about anything now that he's married.
He doesn't care about you anymore.
No, he doesn't give a fuck about anything. He's like a complete...
Well, he's got a hot wife, right?
He's not watching movies. Yeah, she didn't do anything but yell at him all the time.
That's how they
he
get
was
ya.
he was in his car. He was in his car far away from where I come out of my job, and I could hear her on his cell phone yelling at him.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
Just some feedback in the chat room. First time Michael says, "Oh my God, that was awesome, Jakey," and Rocky says that was fan-fucking-tastic about MZ's little bit there.
Yeah.
And James McCurry says Baskin was intense, indeed. Jakey Poo says Vice Principals is amazing, and James he quotes Kenny Powers here, says, "I play real sports. I'm not trying to be the best at exercise." And he also says the bottle of water is possessed. Yours, Raven Shadow?
Yeah, it's fucking weird. You see that too, man? It's
You
been
hurt
doing
yourself?
this. Yeah, well, but
It's doing the Watusi.
Yeah.
It's
looking-
moving. All right, we have another one from. This is from Jakey Poo. Oh yeah.
Dog carcass in alley this morning. Tire tread on burst stomach. The city's afraid of me. I've seen its true face. The streets are extended gutters, and the gutters are full of blood. And when the drains finally scab over, all the vermin will drown. The accumulated filth of all their sex and murder will foam up around their waists. And all the whores and politicians will look up and shout, "Save us." And I'll whisper,
Bambaleo.
Oh shit! I didn't know. Is that the director's cut?
I think that's the ultimate edition. the penultimate edition.
Zack Snyder's penultimate edition of Watchmen.
Yes, his work is always getting fucked with. If that was in theaters.
Yeah. I wish I had like a gazillion dollars so I could fly Jakey Poo to hang out with us all the time. I love that dude
Oh, you
so
just
much.
move him in.
Huh?
Just move him in.
To where?
I don't know, your place.
Right,
Get him,
Chad, you
get him
got
a
room?
house.
Yeah, get some room, man. If you wanna. I got a new ottoman.
Fly him out. Fly him and Yuri, the dog.
Yeah,
you know?
all of them.
Yeah.
I would love to see Yuri feed Michael Ravenshadow some of that Korean food.
Oh my God, that wouldn't go over well.
But
you like Korean food?
I never had it.
Well, you're willing to learn?
I'm willing to learn.
All right.
Diversify. I mean, it's it's normal.
Jakey Poo, what's a good dish for
Yeah.
Ravenshadow to start out with for Korean food?
Jakey Poo.
Or anyone. in general.
Entry level.
Entry level, yeah.
What is the food you were eating that it was so hot it burned my eyes? And I
Not-
didn't eat it.
Not that.
Yeah, it was so hot it made me feel like God hated Jake.
That's fucking good.
Well, I'll take you though. I know where the place is. There's a when they were up, Yuri wanted to go to a traditional Korean restaurant.
Okay.
So she goes, "There's one in Westboro Center." I'm like, "All right, that's awesome." What is it called? And it was called.
I know. Yeah, I know.
It's
the
called
one.
Traditional Korean Restaurant.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know exactly where that is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's across from the park there.
Is it? Was it? Did you eat there?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
I've always wanted to go, but obviously now that I'm, I don't eat.
That's
meat.
my best meal of the year so far.
Wow.
Yeah.
So on the top 10 list of meals at the end of the year, that's going to be number one.
Yeah, we doing that podcast too? Do we have a chat? Jakey, start that chat.
Yeah. Jakey gave us 3 hearts and an XOXO.
Yeah.
First time Michael said that's great too.
Yeah.
And Slegos says Jake is killing it. Ha ha.
It's true. I bring CDR up too, but there's not as much horror probability.
Okay. Here's your entry level Korean meal, Ravenshadow. You ready? You got gonna take some notes?
Dynamo will.
Okay, I got it.
Bulgogi.
Bulgogi.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Marinated beef.
Oh yeah, it'll be fine.
Oh yeah,
it'll be good for you. You like
And
that?
Bulgogi.
He said I was eating osam bulgogi,
Yeah,
spiked
it's trouble.
pork belly.
It's trouble.
So Bulgambi.
He was crying like that little kid at the end of Old Yeller.
Oh jeez, I don't want.
Yeah, like it was bad.
That doesn't even sound appealing.
No, it was hot. It was hot.
Los Atlantis says Korean spare ribs. He'd like that.
Cool.
That sounds like not a real. That sounds like.
That sounds like something we talk about on the baseball podcast.
Yeah, Korean spare ribs. That sounds like something that you get at like Golden Corral. That doesn't sound authentic.
Yeah.
Jakey Poo also says there's a lot of vegetarian stuff at Korean places, but not so much vegan. All right.
What's the difference?
Maybe we can go, Raven
Come on, Monsters here.
You can
Old
eat
school.
meat, and I'll eat vegetarian.
I'll tell you this: you could eat meat and it would burn it right out of your system, so it'd be okay. You wouldn't even have it.
And then that's kind of like we used to go out and like I would drink and you would drive.
Yeah, there you go.
Those are good days.
You can eat meat, and I won't.
Remember when we would go out and you would drink and drive? Those were good days.
Well, we tried the other way, but it didn't work.
Yeah. Well, my special lady friend in the robot would get so drunk I'd have to drive sometime, and those
Yeah.
were bad times.
He says ribs is called kalbi. It's very tasty.
Kobe Bryant.
Colby Bryant.
Colby Bryant.
We should buy that place and totally Americanize it.
Hey.
Colby Bryant ribs.
Kobe Bryant ribs.
What would bulgogi be?
Bulgogi Buchanan.
Yeah.
No,
Bill-
Bella
Bill-
Lugogi.
Bella Lugogi, yeah!
Oh shit.
Bella Lugogi. Oh shit.
I'm fucking hungry, dude.
Yeah, you're hungry now?
Yeah.
I'm wicked hungry. I want to go get something to eat.
There's like only one place open. You
What?
guys know what it is.
What?
Golden Pie Taste.
Isn't the IHOP open? One of the IHOPs, I think.
No, I don't know.
Denny's.
Denny's. Fucking Denny's.
Denny's is cheap too. I don't know why we don't go to Denny's all the time. You go in there, they give you pancakes.
For free?
I think so. It's like $2 for like $4 for 5-10 pancakes.
Yeah,
or
it's to be a
something.
15-minute wait. Here's a couple of cakes.
I could eat some spicy fries.
Yeah, let's do it.
Fucking grilled cheese.
Slegos he loves him some spicy pho. He says.
I'm so
or,
fucking hot.
Or is it pho?
I've never been this hungry in my whole entire life.
I don't believe that.
No, I'm
You
really
had candy
hungry.
bars,
Yeah, I still got to hold one.
so eat it.
Yeah, but that's not going to suit it. I need like sushi or something right now.
Sushi.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
California roll.
we have. I don't know who this is from. It's from. It says it's from North Dakota.
It's not from me this time.
So I don't know if it's from somebody in North Dakota or if their name is North Dakota. Let's check it out. There we go. Some music. Okay. It's YouTube. They're trying to...
They trick us.
Yeah. Trying to sabotage the show. All right. Got some music playing.
All right.
Some metal. I don't recognize it right away, though. Anyone know what this is?
Trying to place it.
It's not Power Man 5000.
It's
Raven
not.
Shadow.
It's not PM5K.
Hey, have you guys ever heard of the what are they called? The dregs from
Oddworld, the video game?
No. It's this fucking band. They're like a heavy metal pirate band, but they play traditional like
Oh yeah.
instruments.
Corpaclani? That band?
No.
They're like folk metal.
No, this is like
Not Ailstorm.
No. No. Like it's fucking amazing. The video will change your life.
More life changing than Necrogoblicon?
Not Redhead Babysitter Gangbang.
No. Los Atlantis says, I love spicy tofu. Pho is rad. I love ramen, but those aren't Korean. Jakey Poo says, ramen is the best food in the universe.
Wow.
Kenny Omega says, pho is life, son.
Want to hear a quick, awesome Sing Sang Soon story?
Sure. While the music playing in the background.
Yeah, so me and Sing Sang Soon work at a restaurant, we'll say. We'll just leave it at that, right? And I called them sometimes, like, as a part-time job. As a full-time job, I do marketing for some of the area stores in that restaurant. But as a part-time job, I still do manager stuff. Like I'm doing it this week because one of the managers is on vacation. And...
Do you manage to not shit your pants?
No. The other day I managed to watch The Godfather in its entirety on my laptop while nobody's paying attention. So the salad bar called and said that they were out.
What? The salad bar called.
Hello, Mars.
Hello, Dynamo. This is lettuce. Could you bring us some more tomatoes, please? What the fuck? The salad bar called.
It's obviously late. If that's no,
we're out of dressing, Dynamo.
What
the fuck? It's too dry in here.
The lady in charge of the salad bar called and said we need romaine lettuce. And I said, all right. So I looked and I asked
Rebecca Romaine lettuce, Stamos,
and neither of my assistants wanted to go.
I heard they have good internet there.
So they go, why don't you call? Why don't you ask Sing Sang Soon? I go, all right. So I call him. I go, Sing Sang Soon, we need romaine lettuce. Go, all right, Dynamo, right? And I go, all right. And he leaves, and I'm thinking for a second. Come back, right? And I tell him how much to take. I go, take $40. We need a lot of romaine lettuce for the weekend. Okay. We need a lot of romaine. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So finally, I'm like, Sing Sang Soon come back. So he's fucking tear ass now because he's got all the way to the door almost and came back. He goes, what? Can you tell me what romaine is, right? Yes. All right. So he walks away. Boom, fourth time. Come back here. He goes, what? I go, I just am not sure. He goes, how am I going to go pick up the frozen noodle if you don't let me go? I'm like, he goes, and why I need so much? I buy hundreds of packages of frozen noodle with $40.
Yep, I saw that coming.
It was amazing.
Yep.
Oh shit.
He's a real live dude.
James asks, Swashbuckle? Is that the band?
No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm finding him.
Okay. Jakey's taken off. He says, ugh, I'm on this diet and all this talk about food is driving me nuts.
I'm sorry, Jakey.
I'm going
on
to sleep, so I'm not hungry
I was
anymore.
supposed to start a diet this week, but I've been
all.
really bad at it.
Jakey Poo, we love you. Smooches, buddy. Thank you for those amazing voicemails and for tuning in. We love you, man.
Oh, fuck you. Why did the dress bond come up?
James says we should check out the new Ghoul album, Dungeon Bastards. Sounds
good fucking name.
Sounds good to me, yeah. So I don't know who that voicemail was from. North Dakota. Thanks. Maybe it was the state of North Dakota. They just left us a 2-minute voicemail of metal music. So thank you. We have one more voicemail. This was played, part of this was played on Outside the Cinema. So if you guys want to hear this message in its entirety, you have to go listen to, let me find out what number episode that was. It was episode 446. The Wrestling Women versus Ready to Rumble Killer Robots on Outside the Cinema. It's on iTunes right now. I just looked. So if you want to hear the whole thing in its entirety, you got to go listen to that. But here is a special treat from Reverend Scott, who is fucking awesome, and he's always listening.
For the longest time, I couldn't have turkey, no matter what kind, sliced turkey or roast turkey or whatever, I just couldn't have it. Yeah, I just couldn't have it. I would just get sick. For the longest time, I couldn't even eat poultry, For years, I would have a steak for Thanksgiving, and then finally I'm able to have turkey, so now I can have turkey. So,
good for you.
This week, on a very special Holy Shit with Reverend Scott, Monster Zero gets triggered by the sight of a wishbone. Raven Shadow eats more pizza. Dynamo fights a large woman for a parking spot. Wolfenstein still isn't buying Monster Zero's turkey story.
Probably were able to eat it all along.
No, I couldn't.
Bill has no clue what the hell is going on.
Why is any of this happening right now?
And Mr. Chris is being sued by Rodrigo's twin for child support.
Fuck!
Let's begin.
So I couldn't eat turkey.
That's fucking absurd to me.
Oh, man. Thank you, Reverend Scott. It was fucking amazing.
That's pretty good.
Very special episode. If you guys want to hear the whole thing in its entirety, like I said, go listen to episode 446 of Outside the Cinema with myself, MZ, and Dynamo guesting. And Dynamo found the band. I'm just going to type this in here. Do you want to set this up at all?
So I just found out about this this band randomly because my good friend, Dr. Clay Inferno of the League of Ordinary Gentlemen podcast is promoting a show of theirs very soon. And I was like, what the fuck is this? So I looked at it. It fucking blew my mind right out the fucking back of my head.
All right, well, I'm going to play it. Play it in the background so YouTube doesn't get mad at us. All right, so this is the story of the Dread Crew of Oddwood.
It's crazy. Raven Chat, I don't know what you're going to think.
They look awesome. I wonder, one of the, it may not be him. One of the guys looked like one of the guys from Hailstorm, and I know they do a lot of other projects.
Yeah, could be.
Wolfbeard over. So are these guys, are they just local or are they
No, I
national
think
act?
they're from, I don't know where they're from.
Okay.
Jolly old England.
From the Caribbean.
Oh, Sir Isaac might like this.
Yeah.
With the Queen. Pretty interesting.
Yeah. But wait till you see the other pirate crew. That's what's amazing.
Okay. Oh, are they Muppets? Oh, Muppets getting their heads cut off with blood everywhere. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to see, if you guys want to see what we're talking about, it is the Dread Crew of Oddwood, and the name of the song is Queen's Decree.
Monster Zero would love this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he would. This is like Meet the Feebles in a way.
Yeah. It's just amazing. I don't know why I find puppets getting shot so funny. But. And then there's this big dude that comes up in the video right here with a fake puppet head that like actually scared me a little bit. And the Queen is really scary. Like, oh yeah, this guy's no good.
Oh, he's killing the
what a
pirates.
dick.
What a dickhead. Yeah, seriously. Oh,
There's a guitar
mandolin solo?
Yeah.
Nice. Looks like the troops are coming.
Yeah. That guy is.
Holy shit, that guy's huge.
Yep.
He's killing the pirates.
Yep.
This is amazing. We're doing play-by-play
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
fucking
Treat.
video.
Look at the
of-
ghosts. Now the ghosts come.
Video
of the people
of
who got
pirates
killed.
fighting Muppets. This is a pretty cool video, though.
Yep. Yeah, it's good stuff. That's good. It's probably everyone in this band kind of looks like Michael Ravenshaw. Though.
Kind of, yeah. Just keep growing your hair.
I know.
Though I don't think Michael Ravenshaw will be able to take a puppet. So
I'll fight a Muppet.
no way.
Yeah, give me a
No
Muppet.
way.
I'll fight that frog right now.
It's better than what Monster Zero said he'd do to him.
That's fair. Different verb.
Kiki and the guy smiley. So yeah, thanks everybody for coming tonight.
First time Michael says real people with real problems. That's funny as hell.
Pirate people with fire
Not really. It kind of sucks, actually.
and Kenny Omega says this voicemail rules. Good editing. And yeah, if you guys haven't listened to OTC, Reverend Scott has been doing those kind of voicemails for
That's good.
years, like 6 years now, maybe.
Yeah.
He's been doing it on Outside the Cinema. Every week he'll send in one like that, and he's brilliant.
That show's a good time too.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking for. I just want to real quick check out Ghoul Dungeon Bastards, which is the recommendation that James made. I'll just play a little bit of a track while I have a email to read. So it's a pretty cool looking cover.
Is it relevant to the show, or are you just going to read your email like?
No, it's relevant.
Okay.
Johnny Wolfenstein, we at this regret to inform you.
Dear Johnny Wolfenstein, Raven Shadow's a boob.
Hey.
Oh wait, that's my personal notes.
No, hey.
All right, so the voicemail we have is from Oily. I'm sorry, the email is from Oily Maniac.
I love that dude.
Let me get to the music here real quick. I'm just gonna jump ahead.
Sold.
Cool. Dungeon Bastards is the name of the album. It looks like the whole album's on YouTube. I would buy it though.
Yeah.
If you like it, buy it. Pretty cool album cover too.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, good recommendation, James. We'll have to give this a listen. Raven Shadow sold.
Yeah, I'm in.
Want to hear the vocals if there's gonna be some. I'm gonna move ahead a little bit. It's a little thrashy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I wish there's.
You wish what?
I don't always like this kind of instrumental metal.
I hope it's not instrumental. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
It's a little Anthrax.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
All right, cool. We got some old school thrash from
I'm
Ghoul.
into it.
Thanks, James. All right, email time. I keep fucking that up. Email. This is from Oily Maniac. Our boy. Thank you for taking the time, my friend. And he says, "I'm stealing Wi-Fi from a boba cafe." Is that a take on the Boba Jetta?
I don't know.
I think it's like those boba drinks that I shit out for like a week.
You mean bubble tea?
Oh yeah.
Not boba. All right. It says, "Hey, trick-or-treaters. Loved last week's episode. Was primed for the wailing and impatiently waiting for a legit copy with good subtitles. Please give Can You Hear Me Now, Tim a phone card or a real internet connection." Unfortunately, I this is me talking. I'm breaking away from the email. I think it's provided by South Korea. Like, I don't know that he has a choice. And
I think he said that too. It's free.
Yeah.
It's free. So
It's normally not that bad. It's normally pretty good.
Oh
though,
no, we've
yeah.
had Tim on, and it's been fine. And it actually, I went back and listened to most of the episode. It wasn't as bad as I recalled it being. And I know Tim hated it. Like he messaged me after and apologized. It's not his fault. You know, if it was, then obviously, you know, there's something he would do to fix it. But you know, that's just the way it goes. We typically have pretty good sound quality. And if one guest once in a while has some issues, it's not a big deal. He says it was driving me mad. I really like the insight he gave, though. Westerners really miss a lot with so much Asian cinema, and it's good to get schooled on it. And that film festival sounds amazing, but I'm really curious how it's run. Is it English friendly? Can Tim play along with Korean subs? Or is he like me, a big dummy and a maniac who will go to see foreign films without subtitles, provided they have monsters, boobs, or violence? Because I'm based like that. He says, what's the film fest and movie going scene like in Necronomicon? Because here in Denver, unless it's at the Alamo Draft House out in the burbs, it's not worth shit. The Denver International Film Fest isn't genre friendly and all about drinking wine with your pinky out. The Denver Film Society and the theater they run is a joke with terrible presentation and an awful snooty hipster staff. Haven't read Wang's Chop, but gotta say Monster is a fantastic digest. You'll learn stuff. It's a delight to read. Check it out. Thanks for the great long-ass show, guys, and my tongue-in-cheek when I talk about Tim's connection. Just bummed I couldn't hear more of what he was saying. Oily Maniac. Thanks, bud. We love hearing from you, Oily, so thanks so much for taking the time to send that, my friend. And I totally agree. I love the insight that those guys had last week. Tim, I mean, obviously he lives in Korea, so he has a very unique perspective that none of us would have had. And also Brian was such an awesome guest.
Yeah, I'm so glad we finally made that happen.
Yeah, had some great insight just talking about, he knows Asian cinema like few people do probably, and it was really great having both those guys on to talk about that film. And as for film fests here, it's not bad. It's not like, we live near Toronto where they have TIFF or Montreal where they have Fantasia or Fantastic Fest in Austin. But, we have the Boston Underground Film Festival, which I did get to attend one night of. And, they had some decent films. I saw How to Kill Your Friends, and I also saw a 35mm print of Larry Fessenden's Wendigo, his own personal print, and he also got up and spoke and did a little Q&A session. So that was real cool. And they had the horror, the local horror block. So it featured films by our buddy Jared Blinkhorn and also Andrew O'Lannon and some other folks that we know. So it's real cool to see the local horror represented. And that stuff, like Jared's stuff, is played at other like major film festivals, So that's something that would be in other places, not just a local thing. But it's not bad. So it's only a 3-day festival. It lasts for basically the weekend. Actually, I think it's 4 days. I'm sorry. I think it's Thursday through Sunday. And I unfortunately only got to go to one day, but I'm glad I got to attend. And other than that, I think there's some other film fests, but for genre stuff, that's the one.
There's a good horror one in Rhode Island around Halloween.
Is there?
Yeah. Let me look it up.
Well, I do know that our buddy Josh from the Arkham Film Society is doing his a long night of shorts, I think is what it's called, or something along those lines. And he wants to do a bunch of short films, put them together, and make like a 2.5 hour, event of showing short films. So I'll try to get some more info about that. But if you guys want to, I'm sure you could look up Arkham Film Society or Josh and find out how to get in touch with them to submit your short film, because that's sure to be a great event. I think it's going to be the Tuesday after Rock and Shock. So that whole week is going to be some amazing stuff going on. So very cool. Thank you, Oily Maniac. Thanks for taking the time out, my friend. Let me see. I thought we might have had one more email, but I think I'm mistaken. This is not an email, but I did have a correspondence with our buddy Karando Mitsutake.
Nice.
And Karando was super sweet. He donated to us. And
Jesus.
I don't want to give amounts because I don't know if he wants amounts out there, but it was a very generous. So thank you very much, Karando. He said his note was, I just didn't want to see Monster Zero nude again, so I figured the only way to prevent that is for you guys to get the AC in the studio.
Fair. It's fair.
Please say hi to the gang for me. Cheers. So that's from Karando saying hello.
Karando, thank you very much, man.
Yeah,
you fucking are awesome.
It was very, very sweet of him, very generous. So Karando, thank you so much, my friend. That was, you definitely did not have to do it. You support us in so many ways.
Thanks so much, buddy.
Yeah.
And can't thank you enough. So thank you very much.
That's fine.
September 8th, by the way, is that show from that our dear friend at the League of Ordinary Gentlemen podcast are putting on with the Dread Crew of Oddwood.
Okay, cool.
At PA's Lounge.
PA's Lounge. I'm not
PA's
familiar with that.
It's in Somerville. PA is a bastard.
Somerville?
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about Karando. I love that dude so much. Like,
yeah.
So good to me, so sweet. He, I don't know, like he's one of a kind.
One of a kind. And we have something brewing. We have a cool little thing brewing for a guest. I'm not going to talk about it yet. It's not going to be next week. It may be the week after. But we have something cool that we're working on, and we'll let you guys know more about it when that actually comes to fruition. But let me go ahead and pull up some tweets. And we heard... Who do we hear from? Radio of Horror, our Dr. Chris. He liked our video of last week's episode, and he tweeted about it, so thank you for the love.
Thanks, Dr. Chris.
And also, Worgen Riku, who you had a nice conversation with recently, Dynamo.
Yep.
Says, gotta love Korean people doing Korean things.
Holy shit.
That's fun.
There you go, Raven Shadow.
Nice.
And Melissa is hanging out in chat room.
Hey,
She
Melissa.
says, damn, missed the whole show. Where's Monster?
We killed him and made a cage out of his bones.
Yeah, there you go.
And he's wearing my hamburger hat from your video right now.
Hamburger hat. If no one in the chat room has any last minute questions or topics to discuss, I think that might be it.
Yeah, I think we're.
I got to work like an adult tomorrow, so I'd be happy to go.
Like an adult?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I woke up super early today so I could get to work early so I could come to the studio early
Really?
to do OTC.
Fair.
So we didn't get a chance to talk about any of the stuff in the beginning of the show because I didn't want to bore Bill and Chris with it. So I'll go through that stuff real quick. And I guess I don't give this out all the time, but if you guys do want to touch base with us, it's always kind of out there. But I forget that people may not know. If you want to email us, send us a voice memo. If you want to send us photos, anything like that, podcast@trickortreatradio.com is the email address to do that. You guys can tweet at us at the Deadites. Make sure to follow us on there, tweet at us, and then also on Facebook you can go to the Fib. That's our the Facebook interaction
fan interaction
board, and it's basically our Facebook group. It's Fib FIB fib.trickortreatradio.com, or you can just go to Facebook and type in Trick or Treat Radio, and we have a group, and we also have the fan page or whatever they're called now. Make sure it's the group. It's got the little skull icon next to it, and if you're not already in the group, invite yourself, and then we will let you in. And there's lots of great discussion all the time going on. There was a couple things I wanted to call out on the Fib, but there's so much going on that I just can't keep up. It's buried deep now. But Melissa's videos have been hilarious. She did a video for Monster Zero, and also one for Dynamo, and made herself appear like them and spoke like them. Pretty funny stuff. I know a lot of people were commenting on that. And there's just a lot of awesome discussion going on there. So lots of nerdy stuff, horror movies. Slegoth's always posting links to awesome art.
Yeah.
Nicholas is awesome posting great links. Everyone really. Like Dane was he posted this huge haul he got. 17 DVDs for $40. You guys see this? Some pretty crazy stuff here. He's got a bunch of King Kong movies, Godzilla versus King Kong. I mean,
those DVDs are VHS.
DVD.
Oh.
Yep. So Zatoichi. It's got a couple Zatoichi. Dark City, which is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Good, the Bad, and the Weird.
Good, the Bad, and the Weird. Yep. King Kong. Some cool stuff. So very cool. Thanks for posting that, Dane. I always love seeing what people get, like their hauls like that. If you go, Nick always he's trying to find some VHS stuff, and he'll typically post his. So that's cool. Lots of funny memes and stuff like that. So go check that out, guys. Also, if you want to support the show, there's a few ways you can do it. Right now, we have a fundraiser going on. I've decided, let's go till the end of August. Let's basically go till the end of summer. That doesn't leave a lot of time, but it leaves a little bit more time for us to raise some funds.
Okay.
And we'll do it till I'll get an official date posted soon, but let's say end of August. We're going to do the fundraiser until then. So, and I'm going to do it the same way I did the last fundraiser. So for every $1 you donate, you get a chance to win the grand prize. So the more you donate, the greater your chance is. And actually, Raven Shadow, if you could be so kind, over on that chair over there, do you see some artwork?
I did. I was scoping that out when I was coming in.
Yeah, so our good buddy, Derek Rook, hooked us up in a big, big way. Once again, coming through with some art. If you want, you can hand them to me individually. Yeah. So I don't think you've even seen these, Mars, have you? Oh, no, you did see these, Mars, right? Yeah. That's right, because you were with Derek when he brought them. But original pieces of art. Some of this stuff is I think in the Beyond. was it? And some of it's from Gore Shriek that's just getting shipped out right now, and some is
from Gates of Hell. You mean?
Okay, I couldn't remember which one.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff will never be seen. So this is original artwork. This is the originals. If he were to sell this would go for a lot of money,
especially right now.
Oh yeah.
With I mean those issues of Zombie, like the first printing of the first issues there on open are going for $300-400.
So if you guys want an opportunity to win this stuff,
that's a original page from his upcoming Gore Shriek.
Yeah. So cool, man. Like, I would love to have this framed. I feel like we should all enter the contest, but I think we're disqualified. Jesus, look at this stuff, man. That dude is a fucking gore whiz. This stuff is so cool.
Look at this one.
All right, what do we got now? Oh, shit. Oh, this one's amazing. It's fucking amazing. You guys can win this stuff.
And I think this might be an ad he did. I think it's an advertisement for something.
Yeah, it's for a Phantasm convention.
Oh, yeah. Nick, take note. You won't want this. Phantasmania.
Phantasmanian Devil.
It was Alamo Drafthouse Cinema, April Fool's Day weekend. Was it 2000? Wow. This is fucking cool, man. That's some really cool stuff.
Yeah, so good.
So we got, I think it was 5 pieces from Mr. Rook.
Yep.
We have this. I don't know if you guys can see the live video, but there's this dragon here. Yeah. It's a custom made dragon that Unchained had given. Patsy is gonna give away his copy of Stripes VHS signed by Bill Murray, like actually signed by Bill Murray. Raven Shadow, what? What's that face? You're grimacing.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I agree. I'd keep it, but it's nice of him.
It's nice. I thought,
and I think Patsy was going to also include. I hope I'm not speaking out of place, but I think he was going to include one of his books.
Yeah.
I think Robert E. Ronsky is going to include one of his books, the awesome horror crossover encyclopedia.
Yep.
So there's going to be some really great stuff in it.
While I agree with you guys, like, you know, and I give him shit all day, every day, but like, you know, Patsy wants the network to succeed.
Oh no, I appreciate it
Yeah.
so much. That's just a real personal thing.
Sure, he doesn't give autographs, so
yeah, absolutely. So it's a super cool thing. There's a lot of great stuff, guys, and we want this to go to a really good home. And the Grand Guignol Prize is going to include a lot of the stuff that we said plus more. We're going to be getting more stuff, and we probably have some DVDs left over in the back that we could toss in. Maybe we'll get a new batch of stuff. We'll see what we can do, but we're going to make it almost as good as the big prize pack that Nick won last contest. So if you guys want to enter, for every single dollar you give, or if you want to buy stuff on our merch store, all that stuff, every dollar spent on our website gives you one entry into the contest. So, and there's also a bunch of reward tiers, so you can actually come on the show and be a guest. You can program the show. You can receive the digital exclusive podcast that we're going to record only for people who get into, who donate. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff going on for it. I would love to see this gain a little bit more momentum, because we're getting kind of close to the goal, but we still have a little ways to go. So I would love to see some more action on that. So go to trickortreatradio.com, click on the ticket on the right-hand side. It'll say Grand Guignol Fundraiser. And then also, you guys can just, if you want to, go ahead and donate money through PayPal. There's a donate button right on the front of trickortreatradio.com. Also, Amazon, you can go ahead, click on the Amazon link, and everything you purchase in that session gets attributed to us. That's one of those no-brainers. If you guys shop on Amazon, use our link. Doesn't cost them any extra, Raven Shadow.
But it helps keep the lights on.
That's right. And also, we have our friends over at Horror Pack, who we just did a promotion with. So if you guys shared our tweet, our Instagram post, our Facebook post, you have an opportunity to potentially win 4 Blu-ray discs from Horror Pack. So thank you to them for helping us out with that. If you guys want to subscribe to Horror Pack, we have a link right on our site. Click on the Horror Pack logo. And finally, We also have our friends over at XSplit.
XSplit!
And they provide the streaming video that you see here. They have some really cool stuff going on over there. If you guys want to stream your show, whether you want to do a live podcast like we do, you want to do a Let's Play, Watch Us Die, like our friends over at Haunting TV and Horror Made, or if you want to do what fucking Wooberman did, 24-hour marathon, and you want to play video games, you can do it with XSplit. So go check that out. Once again, the link is on our page. And I think that's it. We're fucking done here.
Yeah.
Raven Shadow, anything that you need to get off your chest?
Nah, man. Goodbyes are getting long.
You say that all the time.
I'm just a catchphrase.
All right, Mars, anything before you take us out?
Nah.
All right, go for it, buddy.
Remember, children, wherever you go, there you are.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to Trick or Treat Radio tonight. We had a blast hanging out with our boys over at OTC, Bill and Chris. Everyone go check out episode 446 of Outside the Cinema. Wrestling Women versus Ready to Rumble Killer Robots is the name of the show. Go check it out. Hear us. And if you want, well, obviously, if you've gotten this far, you've listened to our episode. But go ahead and check that out because it was a real fun episode. We talked about Ready to Rumble, and we also talked about Wrestling Women versus the Killer Robots. Fun time, always a fun time hanging out with those guys. We've talked so much tonight. I am done. My voice is hoarse, and I think it's time to go. So, next week, we are going to be reviewing Sunchoke, and who knows? We'll probably have some other stuff going on. So, come back and join us next week, guys. See ya!